With roll call, Iona Dimhoff.
Here.
Gertis.
Here.
Guzzi.
Here.
Saney.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Einwalter. Hartley.
Here.
Gardy.
Here.
Graybill.
Here.
Dahmen.
Here.
Grafe.
Here.
Utica.
Here.
Bernal.
Here.
Kekun.
Here.
Corsi.
Here.
Valenzuela.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
Olson.
Here.
Pursley.
Here.
Nandal.
Here.
Lima Barbosa.
Here.
Snyder.
Here.
Margaret.
Here.
All right, we'll now begin with Pledge of Allegiance, led by 12 stands.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now move into our program this evening with the Committee on Lecture, specifically Amanda Knief and Grace Paul.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Knief, and Grace will be here momentarily. She's actually working one of our events tonight, and she had to get it started before she could come up. So before you tonight is going to be a second read of a bill where Lectures is asking for an additional $44,293. And included in the bill, I believe, is a sheet that kind of shows our allocations. And I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that in case there are any questions. But I wanted to give you all a little bit of background and information about the Committee on Lectures, a little bit more than what I usually do when I do our beginning of the year report and kind of our carryover. We think this is a big deal, asking for more money, and I want to make sure everyone understands how we do our funding and how we spend student fees. So the Committee on Lectures is, first slide, please. The Committee on Lectures is the Student and Faculty Senate committee that votes to provide funding for speaking events and cultural events here on campus. And it is the funding arm of student government for this. And so everything that we do that CLL gives money to, we say is co-sponsored by the Committee on Lectures, which is funded by student government. And we say that at the beginning of every program as well. Lectures program is the office or academic unit under the provost office that facilitates COL spending, and we provide the logistical support and all of the planning for the events in the MU. And I'm going to let Grace take over if she would like.
Absolutely. Should I start on this slide? Or?
Yep, go for it.
Sure. Okay. Hi, I'm Grace Paul. I'm a junior here studying marketing and finance at Iowa State, and I'm one of the 2 lecture interns this year. So it's my first year in this position, and I can honestly say it's been one of the most rewarding roles and experiences that I've had here on campus. But yeah, I can explain. Did you already explain COL? Okay, then I'll explain starting at the lectures program. So it's an academic unit under the provost's office that helps carry out the work of CLL. The lectures program manages all the behind-the-scenes logistics, from coordinating travel and venues to handling contracts and promotion, so that the student organizations and departments can focus on content and engagement. We also hire student workers like myself to assist with event prep and evening operations, giving us real-world experience in event management and professional communication. Most importantly, we work directly with student organizations and individual students to make sure that they're involved in every stage of planning different events, which keeps our programming truly student-driven. How do we go? Okay. So anyone can suggest a speaker through the lectures website, which makes this process really open and accessible. Often, student organizations or faculty members reach out directly when they want to bring in speakers or co-sponsors at an event that already is in the works. Once a request comes in, the lectures program staff gathers all the details Things like the proposed time, date, location, and co-sponsors. The Committee on Lectures meets about 4 or 5 times per semester to review all the proposals and to vote on which events we want to co-sponsor and how the funding is going to be provided. COL typically doesn't fund an entire event on its own. Instead, the Lectures program staff work hard to find co-sponsors from across campus to share the cost and make events more collaborative. This process ensures that we can say yes to more student-led ideas and make the most of our funding while still supporting a wide range of educational and cultural events. And then if we want to go to the next slide. So one of the best things about COL is the range of topics we're able to bring to campus. These speakers don't just come to give a talk. They almost always have additional student interactions like classroom visits, Q&A sessions, or informal meetups that make the experience really meaningful. Unlike the University of Iowa, which typically hosts around 10 lecture events a year, Iowa State will have about 96 events just this year. That's a huge difference in both scale and student engagement. The Committee on Lectures and Lectures program work together bring in speakers who might have a narrow but really powerful appeal to specific student groups and bring in a group of diversity within the student groups to get people all together and talking. That's what makes these lectures really special. In fact, we're almost always able to bring in any speaker that a student requests that comes to our attention. So the only real challenge that we're facing is funding and speaker availability. That's why the additional $44,000 in funding is really important. It will allow us to say yes to the requests that have already been submitted and to say yes to even more events for this upcoming semester. As you can see from this list of recent student organization partnerships, over here, our reach spans every college and interest, and we are continually expanding our partnerships with students. Personally, one of my favorite experiences this year was attending the Matthew DeLisi lecture on why people are obsessed with crime and why it might be a good thing for our society. It's a lecture that I never would have gone to on my own, but since I was working it, I was there and I was listening, and it was very fascinating. I got to talk to some really yeah, it was great. These lectures, really bring out curiosity in students and teach them different things that you wouldn't be accessible just to learn in certain courses. So yeah, thank you. I'll bring Amanda back to the stage now.
Okay, so actually, is that right? Yes. We wanted to kind of show you where we've been for the past 4 years. We've had an increase in the number of events that we are co-sponsoring and funding. So last year we had 98 events, and currently we are on track to have 96 this academic year. Also, our attendance is really growing. So far through the 10:30 lecture last week, we've had 3,621 people attend, and we have a record number of students checking in for extra credit. So one of the ways that we make these events appealable to additional students and faculty is we allow faculty to register through our system to award extra credit for attending. Now, not every professor requires a student to check in. Econ, for example, is infamous for making people write a paragraph or report about a lecture. We've even had some faculty say, take your picture with the speaker, which we are happy to accommodate. But it's a good indication to show how engaged students are. Of course, students do come to lectures not just for extra credit, but it's one of those things that we use to help measure what the engagement is. And every year, for the past 3 years, it has gone up. Next slide, please. So I kind of want to explain how the funding that you all provide works and where we're at in our contract. So currently, Lecturers program has a 5-year contract with student government that gives us $150,000 each academic year. The current contract goes through June 30th, 2028. Any unused funds that we don't use of that $150,000 stay in the Committee on Lectures account and just roll over to the fall. And then I present an update to the finance director and to you all, usually the first or second meeting of the year, to explain how we've spent the money and why we had some additional funding left over. Next slide. For the past 5 years, we have had additional funding for some other sources, and that's why we've been able to do so many events without needing additional funding. In spring 2020, maybe some of you will remember, was COVID, and we had to cancel pretty much every spring event after, I think it was March 1st. And because of that, and because the following year most of our events were online and they were less numerous, we had about $90,000 left over in our budget. And at that time, student government voted to allow us to keep that funding if we divided it over the next 3 years so that we could supplement our new contract. So we would have about $180,000 each year to spend. And this was in recognition that expenses for everything were going up. But that funding ended at the end of 2024, and last year we were fortunate enough to get some additional funding through a grant that was awarded to Women's and Gender Studies, and also some additional funding for the Damon John grant, and so we didn't need some extra funding that we are going to need this year. Next slide. So as you can see, I hope, in a colorful slide, how much we've had each year to spend since COVID. So it's about $200,000. And so right now, what we have left over from last year, and with the amount that we got from our disbursement this year, it's about $177,000. And that's kind of why, if we want to keep things at the level we did last year, and we want to fund the events that we've denoted, we need the additional funding. Next slide. On the allocation form or sheet that you were given that kind of shows you how we would spend the money, you'll notice that many of the events have a $750 cost. Any event that comes to lectures and to the Committee on Lectures for funding, we automatically assign a $750 event cost. Because we often vote on events before we know for sure what a speaker is going to need for slides or presentation, because we don't always know where the event is going to be or how much it's going to cost for AV Tech, that $750 ensures that we can cover most of the costs, if not all of them, for that event. And then I take that out of our budget, and then I know for sure that we have enough funding to cover everything that we're voting on. Just like anywhere, expenses have gone up. In the past 2 years, we've had to start paying room rental for the ballrooms here in the Memorial Union. About 95% of our events are in the Memorial Union because of its central location, because we can reserve rooms ahead of when you can on campus. It's very difficult to rent rooms on campus in the amount of time that we need them, due to class scheduling and testing schedules that are not set until almost the very beginning or at the start of the semester. And that's too late for us to reserve many of the rooms that we would need for our events. And so we love our partners at the MU, and we want them to continue to improve their facilities, so we understand that's why we're paying more. But it is a reflective need of the cost of our lectures. So one of the interesting things that I don't know how many of you are aware of is that we don't have the Committee on Lectures. I don't vote. I help facilitate the committee, but I don't vote. I'm just an ex officio member. But we help the committee stretch the money. We don't think, it's not my philosophy as the director of the lectures program, that student government or the Committee on Lectures should be footing the bill for every event that comes to. We never say no to a student group. We would never tell a student group that they had to go out and raise money, because you're funding these student groups. That's what the COL is for. But we also can't afford to pay for every single event 100%, or we wouldn't be able to do as many as we do. So I go out and I work with different units on campus to bring in additional funding to support these events. And so if you would switch to the next one. So far this year, I don't have a complete list because we don't have contracts signed for everything, and so I can't tell you everything that we're going to do. But this kind of shows you where I'm pulling funding for either specific events, or we have units on campus like the University Library and the College of Engineering that often give us funding for multiple events. And so right now, like I said, we have $177,000 from student government, and I'm going to pull in almost $150,000 from other units to help fund these. So I just want you to realize that COL is not footing the bill for all of these, and never for the whole thing. Now, a lot of events that come to us come from departments or other units on campus from faculty, and that's where that $750 comes in. If COL did not contribute that money so that we could host these events in the MU, many of these departments and units would not have a public lecture. They can't afford the cost of having an MU. They wouldn't know how to get the video captioned. They don't have access to our registration for extra credit system. And so by supplementing and providing that $750, we get so many more events open to students rather than just in the department where they're hosted. And so that's one of the advantages of us. But we also then aren't paying for the speaker or any of the things. We're only covering the cost of the actual event for the public. Last year, we pulled in almost $190,000 from other groups. And so to me, it's a really a point of pride that we're able to say that COL is often the anchor for many of these events, but then we are able to pull in all these other groups and organizations across campus to help support them. So just to conclude, we're asking for a specific amount, $39,293, for events that we already know are happening or we have been asked to support, and that is the allocation list that you have. We are asking for an additional $5,000 for additional events that are going to be requested. Since I put this together last week, we've already had 3 more requests for spring events that we can't say yes to because we don't know if we will have the funding. So if you can fund us for an additional $44,293 for this academic year, that means we will get to say yes to every student group and every student who comes to us this year. Thank you.
Senator Kuzi.
Hello, thank you for coming. I just had one quick follow-up question. Did you mention how much comes from the Provost office in financial support?
So the Provost office pays my salary. They pay the salary of the Assistant Director, Laura Shaw. They pay for our student workers and our rent in the MU. And they provide us a little bit of extra funding for our office supplies and stuff. When we have needed funding for, let's say, additional security measures we weren't used to, or if we've had to move an event over to CY Stevens for security or large crowd things, the Provost office has contributed, but they do not contribute directly to events.
And then, I guess between those two kind of separations, right, between what the Provost office does and then what student government does, how do those two numbers compare or align, or what does that look like?
I'm more expensive. So the salaries and the benefits costs for and the rental for our offices in the MU would be more than what student government provides for events, including our student worker costs.
Okay, and then just one quick question out of curiosity. If we were to approve this, would this put us above that, or would that put us just in that direction? I'm thinking of the idea that we're matching what the Provost office does. Or are we just a step in the right direction?
Okay, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think certainly if you want to compare it that way, you're getting closer to what the Provost pays. I don't think the Provost office would ever want us to say that it has to be equal like that. Because every dollar in the COL budget, which is what you give us, goes directly to events. It doesn't pay for student workers. It doesn't pay my salary. It doesn't pay for rent in this building. It pays for the events themselves. And so what the Provost office allows us to do is devote resources to helping students and groups with the logistics. If it was just you all funding it, you could just have groups come in and ask for money for every speaker that they would be interested in. But there's no one there to help with the logistics, to help with the planning, to do the contracts and that kind of thing. And so with that kind of agreement with the Provost office, we get the benefit of having Committee on Lectures as part of student government as a student organization. And then under the Provost office, we're an academic unit, which means that our events fall under that umbrella rather than student engagement.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I really appreciate what you all do. Thank you.
And just as a reminder, we can talk about any of this in more detail when the bill comes up later in the agenda. Delima Barbosa.
Hi, I worked a couple lectures myself, and I really appreciate all the work you guys do.
I saw the presentation yesterday at Finance Committee, and I was thinking about it. And one thing that I was reflecting on is that I feel like maybe not every student know about all the lectures. So I don't know if you're aware, but off campus in ISSO, they send like a monthly journal or like newsletter. I don't know what's called, newsletter. Maybe that could be an alternative for outreach. I don't know. It's just an idea that I had, and I really love the work that Lectures does.
We love figuring out new ways to reach students. I think we have worked with ISSO in the past, but I don't know that we've ever been part of a newsletter that they put out. So that's absolutely something we'd be open to. We're starting dialogue with learning communities to see if there are ways to work with them to have them suggest speakers, and also to make sure that we're getting to them when there is a speaker in their area or might be of interest to them. Absolutely. Any ideas that you have about how to get all of you to pay attention to our events would be great. If it's allowed, I'm here to ask for questions later too. I'll stick around. So, thank you so much.
We'll now move to open forum. Open forum is an opportunity to discuss issues relevant to the student body. If you're here for open forum, I invite you to the podium at this time.
Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. It has come to my attention that there's a bill circulating called the so-called Better Path Forward Act, and I'm here to speak a little bit on EC's perspective on how that's looking forward. On behalf of the Election Commission, I urge you to all oppose this legislation for a multitude of reasons. To begin with, its timing. The bill alleges that somehow there was unresolved discussion from last Senate session, and there's somehow been insufficient discussion over private funding and the way forward for us as a student government. I'm here to say that that's not true. We've been having numerous discussions probably since October 13th, when I first reached out to Vice President Vlasic and President Brandt to discuss these issues in great detail. The code has been before Senate twice. In fact, we had a 45-minute discussion last week, if you remember that. It was on first read 2 weeks ago, and it has also been to Rules Committee twice, and we've had extensive discussions about private funding, what the benefits are, and what is the better way forward for us to go as a student government. And every single time it has been before body, eliminating private funding was chosen as the way to go forward. Folks, we cannot keep going in circles and circles and circles and beating a dead horse to death. This takes away the focus of the commission. We've had to spend extensive time in our meetings discussing how do we react to these proposed changes, what is their strategy, what are maybe possible compromises we can find. We can't keep going in circles. We got an election to plan, and we cannot do that planning without a code. We can't sit there and imagine a fictional code that has not been passed or approved. And even if this bill can be moved forward quickly, the merits just do not hold up. It is not the so-called better path forward. First of all, the bill introduces unenforceable and unworkable standards. It is internally inconsistent, and it fails to resolve the inherent problem with private funding. Just to begin with, one of the first proposals is to introduce, and I quote, a signed, legally binding financial source affidavit. This document must be signed under penalty of disqualification that all private funds contributed to the campaign comply with the following requirements. They're allowed to contribute personal funds to their campaign, provided that they were earned solely through the candidate's own labor, that is wages of employment, business profits, etc., funds from gifts, loans, inheritances, or any other source not directly earned by the candidates or strictly prohibited and considered a violation, end quote. Problems emerge there immediately. We have no way of knowing whether or not candidates are using income, because I'm sure, folks, you don't have just a bank account for income. You probably have a checkings account and a savings account, and if your grandmother gave you a gift over Christmas, you're going to put it in either your savings account or your checking account, depending what you use, and then if you source that from that same account money for your private funded campaign, that violates the very statute in its own words. Nobody would be eligible for private funding at all, and they would be immediately disqualified. And again, there's no way to actually know that the candidates are telling the truth in this affidavit. And then the additional requirement for this to be legally binding, we would have to get a notary public to witness the signing of the affidavits. And then if they violated, this is not just an internal thing that we need to figure out. This would be perjury that they would be committing. ISU very specific requirements for a signed affidavit, and one of them has to say that it's under the penalty of perjury. We do not need to bring real attorneys to actually adjudicate these sorts of disputes. Continuing further, there's also the requirement that candidates cannot, and I quote, reference directly or indirectly the source or nature of the campaign funds, i.e. whether they use public funds, private funds, or the total amount as part of any campaign material, speech, platform, or strategies include statements such as, I'm self-funded, I didn't use student fees, or similar messaging designed to create political advantage based on funding sources. This invites the commission to, in effect, regulate candidate speech. This is something we have never done. We've never said, you can't campaign on this, you cannot campaign on that. Because, and also the reference to this indirectly or directly, if somebody makes a passing statement in a speech, by the very words of this statute, that is a violation. We cannot be policing candidate speech. Think about this, folks. If somebody is making a comment in private in a meeting and someone overhears, that fits the definition of the statute. It is part of their strategy. And it just becomes a mess with the commission being invited into matters that it is not for it to decide these kinds of questions. Further, this creates an internal inconsistency. Pay attention to this part. It specifically says that it cannot be included in any sort of your advertisements, different ads. But later on in Chapter 8, the amendments to Chapter 8, it says that for privately funded campaigns, you must say paid for with private funds, and then before it says has to be paid for with student activity fees. So by if you follow the rules of this proposed bills, you would be subject to a penalty every single time, because the rules require you to say what your funding source is in your campaign materials, but a different part of the rules says you cannot put your funding source in the campaign materials. It is an unworkable standard that the commission will not be able to enforce in any way, shape, or form. And even if you address these problems, I think it still fails to address the inherent problems with private funding, and that is the fact we do not know the origin of the money. Even if you have an affidavit, I'm sure we all know people who lie out there, and I know that we hope that all the slates we have in student government are honest and will tell the truth, but not everyone's going to do that. We're going to have a slate one day that is not going to be particularly honest, and if you're willing to take money from shady organizations, you're not going to tell the truth on some affidavit that's enforced by a group of students. Of course not. I don't think anybody would, if they're committing a crime, would say, yes, of course I did that. So it's not enforceable. It adds unnecessary complications to a problem that can be solved simply by saying, no more private funding. It is a simple way to address both the problems of equity and not having disputes as a campaign point, and it addresses the problems of the funding not being tracked. If we have it just come from one source, coming from student government, we know where it came from, and we know it's not going to be used as a campaign point because everybody uses the same funding. So for those reasons, I respectfully urge senators to oppose this legislation and support the current election code proposed by EC and eliminate private funding once and for all. Thank you.
Just to address Senator Curtis really quick, per our bylaws, debate is not permitted for open forum, but at the discretion of the chair, an appropriate clarifying yes or no question may be asked by the student.
Could I still ask a question on that? I'll take that as a no. Okay. I guess I'll move into, open forum then. I brought a sticky note with me and the rules of open forum. Just going to kind of gloss through some of those things. So first of all, my name's Brody Kuzi. I'm a sophomore in mechanical engineering. I'm also a senator here representing the United Residents of Off-Campus. The student organization I'm here with is student government. And the purpose for speaking at open forum is a few different things that I've identified in our past meetings that I'd like to bring to your attention. So there's a few different items. I'll list them now and then we'll kind of cover them, going through what each of them
mean and how we can change our operations. So first, the number one word on my sticky note here is opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity for us to become great leaders. I'm not talking about what Santi just brought up. I'm talking in general. So please disassociate the two. There's, like I was saying, lots of opportunity for leadership. You all are very bright individuals, and I think there's some different issues that are presented to us that we're experiencing, and as I was saying, there's ways that we can make those things better. The first is first reads. A lot of our finance bills lately have been either waiver of first reads or missing information or things that we just don't quite know enough about. When people are gone or different events come up in quick turnaround times, such as the Cookies with College Senator events, those kinds of things are fearful for our Senate and for our Senate and for our students, because we don't have the time to look into these bills as we might normally. We can allocate thousands of dollars to something that we had just heard about or that the students are just hearing about in this scenario. If they're watching online right now, this is the first time they're hearing me speak. If I were a walking finance bill, is this a good first impression, or is this what we should be deciding on in this room? Looking beyond that, waiver of bylaws. I think we waive a lot of bylaws, and I think it's important to follow the rules that are set for us. They're there for a reason, and there's importance with following them. And then also I'd encourage everyone to speak their minds. There's a lot of opportunity, like I was saying, to become leaders and true speakers. Some people in here are introverts, some are extroverts, some are funny, and maybe some are like me and are not funny. With some of those things, right, there's very different opportunities for people to speak up and speak their minds and speak for what they think, but most importantly, speak for what their constituents are thinking. So kind of with that, I'd like to just make one address to the previous comment that you heard. I think there's a lot of integrity in a signature, and I think there's a lot of integrity in this body. And with all of those things, I think you all have the integrity to become great leaders, to speak your minds, to not follow the wave of votes. I'm guilty of it myself, the move me downs. I think that's very silly. I think it's one way that I can become a follower and not a leader myself. So I'll be going away from those myself, and I encourage you all to do the same. Pay attention to when first reads are happening, pay attention to when waivers of bylaws are happening, and speak your mind and speak your constituents. Thank you.
Motion to add Senator Einwalter and Senator Schilling to the roll.
There's been a motion to add Senator Einwalter and Senator Schilling to the roll. Is there a second? Second. Are there any objections? All right, we will now move into adopting the agenda. Is there a motion to do so? Senator Speaker Persley.
I motion to add 2025-2-02A apportionment for next Senate term to the agenda.
There's been a motion to add 2025-2-002A to the agenda. It's been seconded. Are there any objections?
Is that to the agenda as a whole?
Yes.
To new business, under new business, yep.
Okay, no objections to that. One point of order. Can a bill be added after the approval of the agenda?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
And then motion to add back to the top of special orders the 2025-2-001A. There was a parliamentary procedure error during the vote last week that invalidated the original vote, so it will need to be brought up and re-voted on tonight.
There's been a motion to add 2025-2-001A to the agenda. Is there a second? Second. Are there any objections? Objection. Senator Margaret?
Just purely on the grounds that with the vote of 17 to 1 to 2, I think it's been fairly litigated, and I don't think it serves this body to reconsider.
You withdraw your motion?
No, I do not.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and vote on the objection.
Well, we have debate.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah. Senator Jones?
While my original offer was up to add a vote to the agenda, since I'm first on the list to talk, I do think, I said that we decided 17 to 1, or was it 2? 17, 1 to 2. That we discussed it for 45 minutes thoroughly. We had discussion on it, so I am with Senator Margaret with it because we discussed it thoroughly, we fleshed it out, and so, yeah.
This is not to rediscuss the bill. This is because we made a parliamentary procedure error, and the bill is null and void. The vote doesn't count. We need to re-vote on it according to our procedure.
Senator Kuzi?
Yeah, I would echo that. We don't need to debate any longer about it. If you'd like to, we can. I think some different ideas have come up. I think there's a better path forward and some different things with that as well. Really looking at this from an outsider perspective, there's an error that was made. We're correcting the error. It's white out over a scribble and a new mark. It's simply that.
And again, I'd like to reiterate that we have to do this because the original bill is null and void. That means that the bill didn't pass. We need to revote.
Senator Kikun?
Please, what was the error? Can you shed more light on that?
What?
What was the error?
Yes. So the error is that according to our parliamentary procedure, we need to vote on any amendments before voting on the bill as a whole. Will and I made a mistake. As your parliamentarian, I made a mistake. I said that we just vote on the bill as a whole. We actually need to vote on the amendments before voting on the bill as a whole. So we need to go back and vote on that amendment that was proposed and then vote on the bill as a whole with no discussion.
Senator Margaret?
Sure. Yeah, just to very briefly chime in, completely can understand your interpretation. Just to kind of throw in my 2 cents as to, maybe give some explanation of why I objected to that motion. In my view, this is expressly why we have a Supreme Court, which is in a case where if there's an alleged inconsistency in the way in which we've conducted business somehow, that is something that the Supreme Court could issue a remedy for, should they deem it appropriate. Any number of remedies from invalidating the act to, requiring us to do something else. I think this is explicitly why we have a Supreme Court, and I favor sending this through the proper channels with the court, giving them something to do, and kind of following the rules that are outlined for us, instead of relitigating this and potentially preemptively invalidating something that might not, per the court, have any issue. So.
And while I appreciate that, we need to vote on this bill and get it passed so that the Election Commission has an election code. They're supposed to have an election code by a certain amount of time per our bylaws so that they can start working on elections. And if we go into a Supreme Court case, instead of just fixing our errors on the front end, we're going to have a long time working on the back end to try to fix this. Whereas we could fix it now and be done with it.
Just very briefly, is it still my speaking privilege? I yield.
Senator Kuzi?
Yeah, thank you. I would just like to point out just a quote from the minutes from last meeting. This was at 8:33 p.m. from the official minutes sent to our email addresses from Senator Margaret. Quote, "No, that was just kind of add a piece of information to that. My understanding is the 45-minute time limit or whatever it is in our new bylaws has exceeded for the bill as a whole. And so unless there was a motion to extend debate, we would move straight into a vote, and the motion to extend debate has not passed. So we would move straight into a vote on the bill as a whole. Is that correct?" And then Vice President Vlasek said, "Yes, we will now move forward with a roll call vote." I think that's pretty clear of what the assertion or what the comment was, and then how we proceeded off of that, and that sets up the parliamentary procedure that makes this invalid, like our speaker has addressed. and also the timeliness of this matter, of getting this one way or the other complete and ready for the election commission, as they've already shared for their well-being. This needs to be done. This has been discussed previously in open forum tonight. It needs done. And I think we can acknowledge the error and move on. I yield.
It's been called the question and seconded. Are there any objections? All right, how would we like to vote? Yes, correct. A vote to add the bill to the agenda. We'll move forward with a roll call vote.
So just as a quick point of information, so yes is adding it to the agenda, no is keeping it off the agenda, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Vice President, could you please clarify where in the agenda?
In the top of special orders.
Thank you.
Okay. Iona Dimhoff.
Yes.
Gertis.
Yes.
Kuzi.
Yes.
Saney.
Yes.
Jones. Einwalter.
Yes.
Hartley.
Yes.
Gardy.
Yes.
Graybill.
Yes.
Dahman.
Yes.
Grafe.
Yes.
Utica.
Yes.
Bernal.
No.
Kekun.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
No.
Bailey.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Pursley.
Yes.
Nandal.
Yes.
Lima Barbosa.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Margaret.
No.
Schilling.
Yes.
The vote of 21 to 3 to 0, it will be added to the agenda. We are back on the agenda as a whole. Senator Jones.
My motion to add 2025-2-046F to the bottom of new business.
There's been a motion to add 2025-2-046F to the bottom of new business. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any objections? Senator Saini.
Motion to add 2025-2-005 to the agenda.
There's been a motion to add 2025-2-005 SA to the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any objections?
Motion to add 2025-2-045F to the agenda.
There's been a motion to add 2025-2-045F to the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any objections? All right, back on the agenda as a whole. Is there a motion to approve it? It's been moved to approve the agenda. It's been seconded. Are there any objections? We will now move to approval of minutes. Is there a motion to do so?
Second.
There's been a motion to approve the minutes. It's been seconded. Are there any objections? Senator Kuzi?
I object just with a question or concern. Do the minutes from last meeting need to be reflected to show an error?
Senator Margaret?
I was just moving this over here.
Oh, it looked like you were about to speak.
No,
so.
I mean, do you believe that there was an error in between what the minutes say and what happened in the meeting, or do you just disagree with what happened in the meeting?
Yeah, so the vote that just happened kind of represents acknowledging that there was an error in the meeting. So the minutes, the change here would be reflective of what appears to be a point of information that would have not been correct with our procedure.
Point of information, I believe that the minutes would stay the same because that's what happened in that meeting, and then the minutes in this meeting would show that that was in fact incorrect.
Sounds great, thank you.
All right, do you withdraw your objection?
I do, yes.
Are there any further objections? All right, we will now move to committee reports, starting with rules.
Rules Committee met last week on Thursday at 6:15. We saw 3 senators that are going to be potentially sat today. They were all passed favorably by Rules Committee. Rules is also working on the constitutional amendments from the Constitutional Convention. So if you are interested in that, please come to Rules Committee tomorrow. It's at 6:15 in room 3310 of the Memorial Union. Otherwise, that's all. Thank you.
Finance?
All right. Hi, everyone. So Senate bills were a little late for posting, and my computer died. So I'll send out a budget report tomorrow, if that's okay. Other than that, Finance Committee had our first really long meeting in a while, 2 hours, to vehemently go through all of the funding bills that you're now seeing on the agenda. Rest assured, we went through them thoroughly and had multiple questions and went through them with each of the clubs. And yeah, apologies for not being able to attend last week. Can we actually give a round of applause for Senator Jones? And then also, Olivia posted an article on the cent by cent breakdown, part 2 of a 4-part series. I strongly encourage everyone to read it.
PR?
Hey everyone, apologies for not being here last week, but a couple of updates. First of all, you've all been doing a great job whenever we post on LinkedIn and Instagram, reposting those to your stories and on your feeds. I greatly appreciate it. With that being said, we can still be a little bit more aggressive in that reposting, so make sure you're doing that. And then additionally, here at the end of the night, I'll send out another Teams message in the general chat with the links to some of the different opportunities you guys can get for highlights on the social media. Make sure you fill those out because we won't be able to make any content if you don't. Additionally, we are in the middle of running the shuttle naming contest. So that comes from the SAFE Act. We have 8 admissions so far, so we're still waiting on those as they come in, but it's pretty exciting. And then, yeah, I'm gonna yield the rest of my time to Harley. She's over there.
Hi everyone. I want to thank you guys all for filling out that Safe Food 101 very fast. It was like a 15-minute course, but we still have some of you that need to fill that out before you guys do your outreach credits on Friday. And I can resend that. I will say I will Teams you the day of if you do not have it done. That's just a liability thing. So please give yourself a round of applause for completing that within less than a week. Thank you. It was, you guys made it really easy, so I didn't have to hunt a bunch of you down. So thank you.
Idea?
Hey, so this past week, the IDEA committee met up with the Alliance for Disability Awareness Club, and we talked with them and discussed any of the issues that they're facing regarding accessibility and inclusion. And they had a lot of suggestions for us, so we noted them down, and they also sent us an email. And hopefully this week, moving forward, we're gonna meet up and discuss regarding what we can do to help them. Yeah, that's about it.
Events?
Hi
Hi everyone. Thank you to everyone who was at the first Cookies and College Senator Day. I hope you all had a really good time getting to talk to your constituents and share a little bit about your role. The upcoming one is on Friday, so if you're signed up to that, make sure that you're checking your teams for messages and then that you're overall just getting your things from the student government office. All of your cookies, tablecloths, everything you'll need will be set out there. And then additionally, please make sure that once you get that form for feedback that you're filling that out, especially since this is the first time that we've done this event. It's really helpful for us to be able to improve on it, take into your guys' experiences for how we can make it better. And then one last thing, if your committees have any events or anything that you want to be doing in the second semester, now would be a great time to reach out to Molly and I so that we can start getting those things in the works.
Local affairs.
All right, as many of you may have noticed, Emily was here and then she was having an allergic reaction, so she had to leave. Nevertheless, she didn't have a lot for you all tonight. She just wanted to thank everyone who voted in the local election this week.
Sustainability.
Okay, hi guys. I do have a few things. Most of it is kind of just in the works. Our subcommittees are working really hard. But this Friday, we are partnering with the After Dark, so you guys should come out. It is going to be making faces out of reusable or reused, upcycled bottles and I think it's just bottles and jars, right? Yeah, bottles and jars. And then we'll be making origami flowers as well. It's going to be a really cool event. We have a lot of volunteers, but if any of you want to volunteer, we could always use more. We're also going to be very excitingly doing a team bonding event with the fire station in December. So senators, this is your motivation to join our committee. It'd be fun. You can sit in the truck, I think. We're also working with some faculty who reached out to us the other day about implementing even more water bottle filling stations. So we'll be working on that coming up soon. We are also doing a walkthrough of the ISU disc golf area on Sunday at 3, led by Miss Delaney, to figure out some invasive species and just have a fun little walkthrough of the native areas over there. So you're welcome to join if that interests you. We are also working with Department of Residence to come up with a presentation on recycling for RAs to present to their residents at the beginning of the years, as well as in between semesters. Then we also have a donation drive box in the library as a pilot program for clothes, food, whatever you want to donate. Anything is very helpful. I don't know the exact location in the library. I think it's just kind of in that main little entrance. But that would be really helpful if you guys could tell your constituents about that. And then also follow our Instagram, because that's where we're posting a lot more updates and you can see a little bit more of the nitty-gritty about everything.
Health and wellness.
All right, so the Health and Wellness Committee met last night. They talked more in depth about their next project. Their goal is to table outside the library during prep week, handing out goodie bags with energy drinks, hot cocoa, and resources that may be helpful to students during prep week. They're also hoping to partner with Letters of Love to put some encouraging notes in those goodie bags. Additionally, moving forward, the Health and Wellness Committee will meet at 6:10 p.m. on Tuesdays. The room is TBD, but I'll have it on the student government calendar, or the calendar in the student government office for you all by the end of the week.
Legislative ambassadors.
I don't even know why I sat down. Okay, legislative ambassadors will meet for the first time next week. During their meeting, they'll set expectations and get everyone on the same page with the priorities and goals for the year to help build a strong foundation moving forward. That's all.
Comments from the judicial branch. Comments from the advisor.
I just want to take a moment and thank everybody who came to the President Search Open Forum today. It was great to see a number of you who were present for that. Just remember, the next one is tomorrow at 4. I'm sure Kobe will remind everyone as well. But I just wanted to say thanks for those of you who could be there. The other thing is just a reminder, I think Christine mentioned this before, but the MU is hosting the Big 12 Union Directors Conference They will be arriving on Sunday and will be here through Wednesday of next week, right at the perfect timing of presidential announcement and other exciting things going on. So you will see probably a number of union folks around the building who may have all kinds of questions. So I told them if you're in the student government office, you should stop and say hello, so they may drop in and see you. The last thing is I have to make a gratuitous plug for the MU. We do have our Gold Star Hall ceremony on Monday at 4:15 p.m. We'll be inducting, I believe, 3 or 4 new members onto the memorial and recognizing their ultimate sacrifice to the country in times of war or military action. So if you can make that, please do. We'll have food and opportunities to hear stories of the ISU students who are being added to the memorial. Thank you.
Comments from the executive branch with President Brandt.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Just a quick shout out to everyone that came to the safety walk on Monday night. Sorry, I'm getting my days mixed up. But Monday night we had the safety walk. It was a really great experience. Found a lot of issues on campus that we were able to pinpoint, so thank you to the Health and Wellness Committee and everyone that came out for that. And then Chad kind of stole my thunder a little bit with the President's Search Committee, but my only other reminder for that is if you came to the open forum today, you completed the first step. Now the second step is going online at the link I sent you, going to the President's website, President's Search website, and submitting your feedback through the online form. That's how you ensure that the Board of Regents gets your feedback and that they're able to take your voice into consideration as our next university president is chosen. And then tomorrow we'll have our second finalist. More information can also be found on the same website, same time, same location, 4 to 5 in the MU. And then my only other update is tonight on first read will be our funding bill for Big 12 on the Hill. So please look this over. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm very happy to answer any questions. I'll present next week on more of our what we're going to be doing for Big 12 on the Hill. So if you have any questions about that in the meantime, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. But yeah, that's about it. As always, if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or advisors or anyone. Thank you.
Speaker Pursley.
I forgot to do this when we were adopting the agenda, but motion to strike 2025-2-039F because we already passed that bill and I forgot to remove it from the agenda.
There's been a motion to strike 2025-2-039F from the agenda. It's been seconded. Are there any objections? All right, we will now move to 2025-2-040F. Committee on Lectures, additional funding request with Vice Speaker Hartley.
Okay, so this is the bill we had a program on over today. And then I invite you guys to ask more questions and we'll have Amanda come up to the podium if there are some. She gave a very extensive program earlier and I really appreciate it. I really enjoy being on this committee and I really hope you guys vote yes.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Now move forward with a roll call vote, or closing comments if you'd like. Ayano Dimhoff?
Yes.
Gertis?
Yes.
Kuzi?
Yes.
Saini?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
Yes.
Gardy?
Yes.
Graybill?
Yes.
Dahmen?
Yes.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica?
Yes.
Bernal?
Yes.
Kekun?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
Yes.
Nandal?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa? Snyder?
Yes.
Margret?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
With a vote of 24-0, the bill passes. Congratulations. I can't really read it, but we will now move to 2025-2-041F, replenishing Senate discretionary with Senator Saney.
The intent of this bill was to replenish the Senate discretionary, as we saw previously that it's running out of funds. And Finance Committee favorably passed it to the Senate in the meeting. Finance Committee will answer any questions regarding the bill.
Senator Kuzi.
How much is in the Senate discretionary today? Or yesterday, or a couple days ago, or like last week, after last week's?
Just off the top of my head, I believe it's $2,400. You can check the budget report from last week, though, which I posted on the student government teams.
Thank you.
Senator Iona Dimhoff. Snyder.
Just for the good of the order, do you mind going over like what account goes where, who, how, what account gets chosen for what club, etc., just for the good of the order, please?
Can you repeat your question? Sorry.
Hey, can you please stand so the camera can get you?
Here.
Thank you.
Just for the good of the order, can you go over one more time about what account, how each account gets selected for what club and so on, just for the good of the order?
So mainly you'll see 3 accounts on Senate bills. So that'll be the events account, Senate discretionary, and then special projects. The events account is specifically for events, but it's not bound by PNC, but we like for those events to be open to all students. Special projects, really it's just used for bigger budget items, but there's no specific criteria for we should fund this out of Senate discretionary, we should fund this out of special projects. It's essentially just for those big budget items. So some of the room reservations that have been like thousands of dollars we've done out of Senate discretionary. It just kind of depends on the finance director on which account they prefer using. I like using Senate discretionary for those because it goes to organizations, and I think that that's more representative. Evan, a couple times last year, had ones like that would go through special projects, and I've had that too. If it's over $10,000, it'll come out of special projects, essentially.
Senator Iona Dimhoff.
Can you guys just explain how you guys came up with this 25,000?
Yeah. So I think it was, so when the bill was originally being written, Senate discretionary had about a little under $5,000 in it. And so Senate discretionary is given $30,000 per semester. So essentially the $25,000 was to get it back to that $30,000 number, if that makes sense.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments? All right, we'll move forward with a roll call vote. Iona Dimhoff.
Yes.
Gertis?
Yes.
Kuzi?
Yes.
Saney? Jones?
Yes.
Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
Yes.
Gardy?
Yes.
Graybill?
Yes.
Dahman?
Yes.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica? Bernal?
Yes.
Kekun? Corsi? Valenzuela? Bailey?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
Yes.
Nandal?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa? Snyder?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa?
Yes.
With a vote of 24 to 0 to 0, the bill passes. We'll now move to 2025-2-042F, funding the Cows Connection with Senator Jones.
Hi friends, we saw this bill in Finance Committee this past Tuesday, and we sent it favorably. So
Hello again, everyone. As you know, my name is Josie Kelly, and when I'm not Senior Director of Communications here for Student Government, I am the Advertising Chair for CALS Connections, which is a publication focused on agricultural topics. Today, CALS Connections comes before you to request funding to support the printing of our publication. Specifically, we're requesting $252 for our issue subscription, which allows us to create a high-quality digital version of the magazine accessible to students, alumni, and staff, and then $400 for printing 100 physical copies to be shared across campus. CALS Connections collaborates with Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow to produce a professional grade publication each semester. Each student author is responsible for their entire spread, from conducting the interview to delivering the finished product, giving them hands-on experience in every single stage of publication. Our publication is open to any student with an interest in agriculture, regardless of background. It's completely student-run with a structured leadership team, including the editor-in-chief, assistant editor-in-chief, and an advertising chair. This structure allows us to provide students with real-world experience in journalism, publishing, and then overall project management. As advertising chair, I've been actively seeking funding to allow for the printing of this publication, but due to economic challenges facing the agricultural industry and the fact that we have not ever had a printed edition, potential funders have been hesitant to advertise. To support the printing of in your support of the printing of our publication, we are offering Student Government the back cover advertisement in return for funding. We will collaborate closely with the Public Relations Committee to design an ad and effectively represent student government while maintaining our professional magazine. So, any questions?
Speaker Persley.
Thank you, Josie, for sharing. This seems like a really awesome way to spend our money. My question for you is, how can students get access to this publication, and is it free to students?
Yeah, it's completely free to students. Right now, we are hosting all of our online publications on ISU, and this is a completely free service. It has been sent out on the ACT, LinkedIn, and then via email, and then word of mouth mostly right now. So we're hoping that through producing the print publication, we get more like window time, or people will be able to see it and either access it online or read the physical copy on campus.
Cool, thank you.
Senator Snyder.
So in the bill, we're listed as publishing stories relevant to agriculture. What does that mean? Can you give me a couple examples?
Yeah, so a couple of the stories in the works right now are relevant to some of the different alumni that come from Iowa State University that have an agricultural background. So one of those in particular, there's a woman who graduated from Iowa State and now she runs AgriPulse Communications. She founded that company and it's one of the largest agricultural publication companies in the nation. So we highlighted her. Additionally, we talk about different resources or innovation that's happening in agriculture, anything that's relevant to the industry.
Recently, there have been several publications on campus, one of which is the Iowa State Daily. More others are like Cardinal Advertising, the food magazine, the name is eluding me currently, that have switched to fully digital publications that no longer have physical publications except maybe once a semester, right? And even places like that, though, they cut down.
Yeah.
What makes this organization different than them, that there is a physical publication, more so than digital?
Yeah, so we are pulling all of our inspiration from other magazines that are similar to what CALS Connections is doing across other schools. So like the biggest one I think of right now is OSU's Cowboy Journal, and that's a publication that is widely known across the United States in agricultural sectors. So what we're really hoping for through the printing of this publication is to get more investment from private industry. Obviously, we also want to spread what we're doing with students, but it's important that we are getting our students' work put in front of potential people,
So just so
employers.
clear, the point of this bill is to get you guys noticed by the industry.
Well, not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. It's kind of it goes both ways. So it is important for us, coming from CALS Connections, that we are showcasing what students are doing to other students at the university. So we want all of our stories to be read by students at Iowa State, but it's also important to us that we are showing what our students are doing at a larger scale.
I would just note that we're here to fund organizations that are elevating the students, not elevating clubs themselves. I think if this bill is trying to elevate the clubs and not the students, I'd urge rather senators to vote no. Thank you.
Senator Grafe.
Hi. I think having a publication about cows is a great idea. However, in the bill it says publishing stories relevant specifically to agriculture. And I just wanted to know if life sciences were also being included in this publication.
Yeah, so life sciences definitely is covered underneath of it. A story in Cal's Connections can be anything ranging from any topic that is kind of covered underneath the College of Ag or has a connection to agriculture in some sort. So it could also it can go towards sustainability, or we could discuss important alumni in agriculture, if that makes sense. But we do also try to cover the life sciences portion. I will say there really is no criteria that a student writer must follow when they're writing a story. When we're brainstorming ideas for Cal's Connections, we all sit in a room, we have a work night, we discuss potential stories that we have, and it's really student-led, student-focused. So if a student wants to pursue a story that is covered under life sciences, that's completely up to them.
And then what organization are you? Oh, sorry, it says it. Members of, okay. I would like to modify this bill to say relevant to agriculture and life sciences. Oh, can I add? Okay.
There's been a motion to amend the bill to say relevant to agriculture and life sciences instead of just relevant to agriculture. Is there a second? Second. Are there any objections?
Thank you.
Senator Kuzi.
Just one observation. Never mind. So I guess I have a couple questions. I really like the idea. I think it could be comparable to the daily, where you're giving experience to your writers and to students, and that speaks a lot. While what the public might see is the publication itself. There's a lot of costs that go each way with that. There's a lot of time investment with those things as well. I guess my question right away is, where's the best place to find this and read it?
Yeah, so right now our distribution action plan is to put it in places like Curtis. Hamilton Hall has a place where you can put student publications. East, we're still working on getting placements, but sporadically around campus.
Okay, and then also on this, I think my decision is going to be to abstain, just because the relationship in PR with this, I know PR was referenced. That's my choice. If anyone else wants to make that choice, they're welcome to. But that's all I have. I yield.
Senator Jones.
Hi, friends. So we did see this in Finance Committee. So we talked about this in Finance Committee as well, how students are the director for their own stories and part of this publication. So we are funding a student organization that they're able to write stories and publish for any student to see. So it's not just to get noticed by agriculture businesses, it's for any student to see. Not every student reads Trend magazine. Do they? No, not every student joins the investment club because they're in an investment major. So this is for the students. We're funding a student organization so students can have the opportunity to partake in something they like. And so I think we're losing sight of the bigger picture here. Also, per our PNC bylaws, our PNC, they're required to have 5 places on campus for their publications. So that also saying, I urge all of you to come to our finance meetings as well. They're on the website.
Speaker Pursley.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that, I would not compare this magazine to Iowa State Daily. It's a little bit different, as Iowa State Daily comes out daily. This is more of a on specific terms kind of publication, and I would more compare it to Trend Magazine. We do fund Trend Magazine, which is a physical magazine, and it is for fashion, a very specific topic, similar to how this is for agriculture and life sciences, which is topic specific, and also a printed publication. And so if we're funding one organization to do the exact same thing, I don't think we should disregard another organization just because you personally don't like what they're publishing. Thank you, I yield.
Senator Snyder.
Just out of curiosity, you're the head of the PR committee, correct?
Yeah.
And one of the incentivizations for student government to vote for this bill is that we're getting a back cover ad, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And for this, the reasoning of this is we want to make Cal's connections more attractive to businesses by making them buy ads, correct?
Not necessarily. By having a printed publication, it provides us a sense of legitimacy, but then it also provides a physical reminder in different meeting rooms, different common areas, different spaces on campus for students to recognize and see these.
That's great, I love that, but it says in the bill that you're aiming to become more attractive to businesses in future semesters, right, by buying ads.
In the future, the hope is that we can be completely self-sufficient.
Just making that clear. Head of PR, buying ads. Thank you.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments? Senator Jones?
Oh, no.
No closing comments. All right, we'll now move forward with a roll call vote. Iona Dimhoff?
Yes.
Gertis?
Yes.
Kuzi?
Abstain.
Saini?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
Yes.
Gardy?
Yes.
Graybill?
Yes.
Dahman?
Yes.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica?
Yes.
Bernal?
Abstain.
Kikun? Corsi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Paige Bailey? Or
Yes.
Bailey? Sorry. Olson?
Yes.
Persley?
Yes.
Nandal?
Abstain.
Lima Barbosa?
Yes.
Snyder?
Abstain.
Margaret?
Abstain.
Schilling?
Yes.
With a vote of 18 to 0 to 6, the bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
We'll now move to 2025-2-043F, funding the Dub H with Senator Saini.
The Finance Committee saw this bill yesterday in the committee meeting and favorably passed the bill to send it to Senate. And I urge you representatives for Dub H to come in the podium and say a few words.
Good evening, Senators. My name is Samara Torno. I am the president of Dub H.
And I am David. I'm the treasurer.
So we are coming before you to request $8,100 enabled, $8,100? $9,000 in total for our funding for both our venue and our spaces for being able to practice in Forker. Due to a recent issue, Rec Services have started charging us to use the Forker space, and with our current funds in our balance, we are not able to fund those properly into our full capacity. So we are requesting funding. We are a student organization that is open to all students and all card holders. We are one of the biggest dance clubs with 79 students active at the current moment, even with dues being charged and fundraisers being done. And even with all that, we are still not able to function at our full capacity or even really function at all just due to our financial situation. So we are humbly coming before you to ask for funding. David, if you want to share some numbers with them?
Yeah. So for us to be active still as a club with a new forker and our auditorium prices, we're requesting a total of $9,850. That would accommodate being able to pay off the forker and being able to pay off the auditorium we do rent out. And I believe with the funding, it would help bring a lot more people to stay in WH, because we do not want to lose this family that we've definitely built up over these past years.
We are happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Speaker Pursley.
I've seen WH perform multiple times. I think it's such a great group, and they do such a great job with all of their showcases. I think it's really important that we continue to support student organizations. I think it's unfortunate that they have to pay this due cost with rec services, and there's conversations to be had there with rec services in the future, but for now I want to make sure we're supporting student organizations and clubs, and that's why I'll be voting yes on this bill.
Senator Dahman.
Hi, thank you for coming. How much are your dues currently?
So as of now, our dues are at $25 at the beginning of the semester because we do have a marketplace open for them. And then after our midpoint, they raised to $30. So we are still trying to make money as a club, but unfortunately, it's just not enough to cover our total costs.
Senator Kuzi.
I was really on the same spot as Speaker Pursley over here. I think we're seeing a lot of people come through with the same kind of problems that you guys have had, that rec services has changed things. Can you just speak to, how frustrating that's been or what that's been like, and maybe how we all can help you advocate for that a little more?
I think really it was, for us personally, we were lucky enough to reserve during the summer, so we didn't have to pay this semester, but it was very much not a lot of communication. I know we found out personally at the end of August. So school started for about 3 weeks, and then we found out, and I wasn't let known from a formal email. It was more of a additional note to a conversation we were already having. So it was almost like an afterthought. So that felt very frustrating, just as a leader in a student organization trying to scramble and figure out, and even with talks of seeing if we could get an extension to figure out any funding resources we could do, or trying to work with rec services, there wasn't a lot of leeway in that. So I think it was just a lot of it was us trying to figure things out quickly. And I think overall maybe having an advocacy group for us, just for those spaces, because I even know as students we do pay to be able to use those facilities. And now that we are being charged to use those facilities just because we are within a club, but we are still being charged to use them, is just a little frustrating. And even as individual students, so we have student leaders as choreographers in our club. So even if our choreographers wanted to book rooms within rec services, they're not able to do that anymore, just as an individual student to hold their own practices. So we felt like we were very much cornered into having to ask student government, and we are forever thankful that you guys were able to hear us out. We are always forever thankful for that. But I think it wasn't a lot of communication, it was more of a mad scramble to figure out what we can do as a club to still function to our full capacity.
Yeah, thank you for that. And if you know of other organizations that are facing that, please urge them to come here and speak with us, and we appreciate you coming in. I'm in favor of this. Thank you.
Senator Lima Barbosa.
I'm voting yes for this bill, and I'm favorably saying that everyone should vote yes as well. I want to highlight how financially responsible they were with Finance Committee yesterday. They were extremely nice. They came to us trying to get to an agreement, and we did our best to make them work in their fully capacity. I just want to appreciate how nice and how financially responsible they were to us.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments? No closing comments. We will now move forward with a roll call vote. Ina Dimhoff.
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Kuzi?
Yes.
Saney?
Yes.
Jones? Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
Yes.
Gardy?
Yes.
Graybill?
Yes.
Dahman?
Yes.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica?
Yes.
Bernal?
Yes.
Kekun?
Yes.
Corshi? One more time. Corshi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bailey? Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
Yes.
Nandal?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
The vote of 24 to 0, the bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll now move to 2025-2-036F, funding for Indian Student Association with Senator Lima Barbosa.
So we sent this bill favorably through the Finance Committee, and I want to invite the representatives of the club to go to the podium. It's an international event, and me as an international student appreciate this, and I think this is an extremely important event.
Good evening, guys. I'm Ayush. I'm the president of the Indian Students Association.
Hi, I'm Naman. I'm the logistics head.
Speaker Pursley.
Will this bill be free for students to attend? Or not bill, will this event be free for students to attend?
So as of right now, I'm going to have to say no. So what we are going to do right now is that we are charging an $8 admission fee for students, and the faculty and public tickets are going to be $10 and $12 respectively. The reason for this is because as compared to this is an annual event that we hold and our largest. So as compared to the previous years, we were unable to get location in the Memorial Union or anywhere else on campus. And historically, the only other place we've held it at is Ames City Auditorium, where we're holding it this time. So due to this factor and the fact that compared to last year, our food budget is almost double, we have our expenses have gone up quite significantly. However, in light of this, we as a committee have decided that we've taken the first step to hopefully ensuring that this event becomes free for all students by, as of right now, reducing the ticket prices for students by about 50%.
And can you explain what the line item ticket printing means?
So past issues regarding this event have been that we never really had a proper way to keep track of attendance and who buys the ticket, who doesn't. So this time what we're doing is we're going to keep a physical ticket so that we can monitor attendance more attentively. So people who buy a ticket on Marketplace or on the spot, so they will be given a physical ticket. So that's the printing cost for the tickets.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Ina Dimhoff.
Can you just just tell us about the Diwali event?
Sure. So Diwali is a Hindu festival of lights, which is a big festival in India. We aim to recreate it here in Ames by hosting performances by different clubs and student groups on campus. So we provide them with a platform to do all like sing, dance, etc., etc. And we even provide cultural food, which we cater from Des Moines.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments? Senator Saney.
This is for the Indian Student Council, and I just want to talk about how you guys please can do like ID scanners at the event this time. I remember they were present at the last event, but were not active. But it's like kind of a procedure in our PNC and Finance Committee that we require organization who cater food or record attendance. So that's how we fund for the next upcoming event on the basis of the attendance in the last event.
So with regards to that, for last year, I can't really speak for it because I was on stage the entire event, so I had no idea whether the ID scanners were being used or not. But as for this year, with my leadership, I will ensure that all these issues are addressed and we will use the ID scanners.
Thank you. I yield.
Closing comments, Senator Lima Barbosa. All right, we'll now move forward with a roll call vote. Senator Ianu Dimhoff? Yes. Gertis?
Yes.
Kuzi?
Yes.
Saini?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
Yes.
Gardy? Graybill? Dahman?
Yes.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica?
Yes.
Bernal?
Yes.
Kekun?
Yes.
Corshi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
Yes.
Nundahl?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
The vote of 24 to 0 to 0, the bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll now move to special orders, starting with 2025-2-001A, the Super Act, supercharging and upgrading procedures for election regulation with Vice Speaker Hartley.
So this was another error that we made and didn't catch, but technically this bill needs to be authored by the speaker. So if somebody could, I don't know, motion to make that as friendly or something?
Motion to make the speaker the author of the bill. Second.
Thanks.
Okay, so let me explain a little bit how we're going to do this. So first we need to go through a vote for the original amendment that we never voted on, and I can read that amendment out to you guys right now. So this was from Senator Gertis. The amendment was, I make a motion to undo the striking of all references to private funding in the election code. So we would be voting to undo the striking. Making a motion to put private funding back into the election code.
Just as a reminder, there's no debate on this unless you'd like to make a motion to extend debate. Senator Kuzi.
Sorry, I just got a little lost there. Could you say that again? Maybe the amendment actually a little bit.
Yeah, there is an additional piece, but I'm trying to find it.
I guess point of information with that, the page number near this time is, say, 65 in the minutes which were emailed out to give you a general location.
Okay, here it is. Motion to add back all the language regarding private funding in the election code and ask the Election Commission to survey students regarding this topic.
There's been a motion to do so. Is there a second?
So we need to vote on Senator Gertie's motion to add back all the language regarding private funding in the election code and ask the Election Commission to survey students regarding this topic.
Can you use your microphone? Thank you.
Please
Please, what are the wordings that are referred to, please? Is it like it's too lengthy or something? Because I'm just completely lost. I don't really get what's going on.
Okay, so there was a parliamentary procedure error during the vote last week that invalidates the original vote. Basically, we forgot to vote on this amendment before moving to the final vote of the bill. We just moved to the final vote of the bill. Now we need to go back and correct this by voting on the amendment before voting on the bill as a whole. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I would like to know the specific line of amendment we're making. We are voting on.
We are voting on the motion to add back all the language regarding private funding in the election code and ask the election commission to survey students regarding this topic.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Senator Kuzi?
Motion to open the floor for debate.
All right, who was the first one? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to open the floor for debate on this topic. Oh, I thought you said second, sorry.
I heard second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to open debate on this topic. There's been multiple objections. The first one was Senator Iona Dimhoff. Would you like to state your objection?
Yes, we've already discussed this for 45 minutes last week. We just need to correct that preliminary error that we had, which is just voting on the amendment before we vote on the bill once again. So there's no need for further discussion on this.
Do you withdraw your motion?
No, I'll carry my motion. Just because we've talked about it for 45 minutes doesn't mean that things have changed or there's different perspectives. I know the initial vote in the room as a bill as a whole, which we have now deemed as incorrect, but that discussion is different today based on all of the facts at hand. So I think it's worth discussing at least for 10 minutes. I can amend my motion. You can also amend my motion. Anyone here can, to limit it to 10 minutes if you have homework that you have to go home to or something similar. Yeah, I would suggest that somebody open up for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or open it up until there's a motion to close. That's my response to that.
Okay, do you withdraw your objection? Okay, we will go ahead and vote on Senator Iona Dimhoff's objection. Claire, you're good at explaining this. You explained it well last time, I think.
Okay.
What
so
a yes
if we're
or a no
voting
means.
yes on the objection, then we will not open debate and we'll just move straight into voting on the amendment that we did wrong last time. If you say no to the objection, that would open the floor for debate. Yeah. Yes.
What information that's correct.
Thank you.
All right. Do a roll call vote. Iona Dimhoff?
Yes.
Curtis? Kuzi?
No.
Saney?
No.
Jones?
Yes.
Einwalter?
Yes.
Hartley?
No.
Gardy?
Yes.
Graybill? Dahmen?
No.
Grafe?
Yes.
Utica?
Yes.
Bernal?
Yes.
Kikun? Corsi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
No.
Nandal?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa?
Moving down.
Snyder?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Schilling?
No.
Nandal? Oh, sorry. Lima Barbosa. All right, we'll open debate back up for 10 minutes, starting now with Senator Jones.
Excuse me. What was the verdict? Or
One second.
Count the votes. 15-7-2, you said? Thank you.
Senator Jones.
I'll be quick with it so you can have speaking privileges, the rest of you. We voted with the bill to not have private funding anymore. And that's what Senate decided 17-1 to 2. And I think having this amendment would undo all of the private fund, like have private funding back in the bill. And yeah.
Senator Gertis.
We have 10 minutes.
Yep. I'm going to entertain the possibility of withdrawing my amendment to propose a new one. Conditionally. Conditionally. Whereas the language of our A Better Path Forward bill be applied to the election code. And and that language would, Santi kind of went through it earlier, bring back private funding but with key safeguards, like a financial source affidavit where students have to sign an affidavit to prove that they aren't going to use funds from other organizations. It has to come from their own wallet. Private funds must be earned personally, and no campaigning on funding source, on their funding source. I think I'm going to use this time because I think it'd be remiss if I did not address the election commissioner's statement during open forum. And unfortunately, based on the applause, it seems like the potential bill's fate appears to be sealed in silence before many of you have even had the opportunity to read it. But the Better Path Forward Act is designed to preserve trust and transparency in student government, the election process, by keeping but strictly regulating private campaign funding. It establishes clearer guardrails on campaign donations and ensures equal access to campaign resources for all students. I want to give a rebuttal to the election commissioner's statement at the start. I want to address the claim that the election code doesn't limit campaign messaging in regard to our proposed stipulation to privately funded campaigns that prevents them from using their funding status as leverage. As someone who has run for a legislative seat, I know this claim simply isn't true. Chapter 8 makes it clear that we regulate messaging constantly. Messaging cannot be defamatory according to 8.12.1, misleading, 8.7.5, excessive or coercive, according to 8.8.4, or presented in a way that implies endorsement by student government. Campaigns must include specific required language in emails, and social media accounts must be created, disclosed, and monitored under very specific rules. The Election Commission regulates the content, tone, channels, volumes, and presentation of messaging because the code recognizes that messaging strategy can influence election outcomes. So restricting campaigns from using their funding source as a political talking point is not new territory. We already regulate messaging when it creates unfair influence. Our proposal does the same exact thing. We prevent campaigns from weaponizing their funding source as a talking point to score political advantage. This is consistent, reasonable, and aligned with precedent. Regarding enforceability, nearly every part of the campaign finance already relies on disclosure and accountability. Spending logs, event forms, endorsement lists, staff rosters, and even petition signatures all rely on candidate honesty under penalty. The financial source affidavit stipulation does not introduce a new enforcement burden. Rather, it uses the same legal structure already in place, and importantly, removing private funding entirely would not increase fairness. There are students who do not feel ethically comfortable using students' activity fees to run political campaigns. Eliminating private funding tells those students that they must compromise their values in order to participate in student leadership. The choice to maintain both funding pathways with clear, enforceable, and strict guardrails is the most fair, most inclusive, and most student-centered approach. I yield.
Was there, I caught it right at the beginning, was there a motion with that, or?
I apologize. At the start, I motioned to withdraw my original objection with the purposes of bringing our language from our new Path Forward bill into the election code.
So what you're saying is there's a motion to add the new language in that bill, like what you said,
Correct.
And I believe your
Senator,
original amendment?
Yes, I believe Senator Kusi has that and as a comment on the agenda.
Okay, so there's been a motion to remove, there's been a motion to add. Okay, absolutely. So there's been a motion from Senator Gertis to add the new language in the comment on the bill to the original bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Objection.
Who was first here? Senator Jones?
So I have an issue with adding this new language into this bill. Has it gone through election commission? Has the election commissioner seen it with the committee and rules?
Point of information, the election commissioner I saw reading it in open forum. Thank you.
Has rules seen this?
It's been sent to both the speaker and the vice speaker to be
Has rules
distributed to
committee
rules.
reviewed it?
I've asked them to distribute it to rules. I cannot speak to that.
So
Point of information, Rules Committee can only review bills in Rules Committee.
I am not in favor of adding this language to this bill, as Santi has talked about how this language is going to affect election commission as a whole. Unfortunately, it's going to set them back, and also there's language in there it's not feasible for them to regulate this election. I'm all for having student autonomy to choose for what they want to be provided with, but unfortunately this language on this, being added on this bill is not feasible. And I don't think adding this language in this bill and voting on it immediately I got this email about this bill this morning. There's not enough time for me to read it and talk to everyone about it. I don't think this is enough time for us to discuss it, unfortunately.
Mr. Chair, may I propose a motion?
Yes.
We're still on our motion now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you withdraw your original motion, Senator Gertis?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
May I now propose a motion?
You may make a motion, yes.
I move to table this bill 2025-2-001A for 1 week so that rules can process the changes which may or may not be seen following the rest of the discussion. So table for 1 week to be seen again next week.
There's been a motion to table this bill for 1 week. Is there a second?
Objection.
Who was first? Senator Bernal?
I think it's pretty clear and simple where I think everybody's been lying so far. Speaker personally mentioned that election commission has a set deadline to start getting stuff rolling, and if we keep on pushing this back further and further, if we push it back to rules next, either tomorrow and then we have it bring up next week for possibly more debate, we are just hindering election commission of their job. We should just end it here now and remove private funding completely and just get it over with.
All right. Do you withdraw your motion?
No.
All right. We will now move to vote on Senator Bernal's his objection. Claire, would you want to explain this one more time? Vice Speaker Hartley.
Yes, I have a point of information though as well. Technically, per our bylaws, which I read this morning, they have until the 19th to have their election code passed, just as by FYI. So voting no on your objection would mean that we would take his amendment. Voting yes would not take the amendment and agree with his objection. On tabling this? Yes.
Could you, Madam Vice Speaker, could you say that again,
I'm
please?
sorry. Okay. So, yeah.
Right now, we're voting on Brody's motion to table the bill, and then after we vote on that motion, we will vote on Senator Gertie's motion to add the edits.
Point of order, would time remain in discussion between those two that you referenced?
We're at 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
So now we're voting on Brody's.
Call the question for vote on my motion and objection.
I think we'll just move right into into Senator Bernal's objection.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm sorry, just as a point of order. So is it voting yes is to not table and voting no is to table? Is that understanding correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Move for placard vote.
One more time?
I move for placard vote.
No is to table.
No is to table. Yes is to not table.
I move for placard vote.
A placard vote has been called for. Roll call has been called for. Ida Dimhoff.
Yes.
Gertis. Kuzi.
No.
Saney. Jones. Einwalter.
Yes.
Hartley. Gardy.
Yes.
Graybill.
Yes.
Dahman.
Yes.
Grafe.
Yes.
Utica. So a no means that we'll table the bill. A yes means we won't table the bill. Bernal?
Yes.
Kekun?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pursley?
Yes.
Dondal?
Yes.
Lima Barbosa?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Hartley? With a vote of 21 to 3 to 0, we will not table this bill.
Move to recess for 5 minutes.
There's been a motion to recess for 5 minutes. Is there a second? Are there any objections? All right, we'll see you back here in 5 minutes. speaking privilege will I give you order? I would say if they ask him a question during their speaking, it would be yielding them time. Yeah, very good. We don't need any more bylaws. All right. Everyone please find their seats. Our recess has ended. Our recess has ended. All right, so the 10-minute extension of debate has expired.
I motion to extend debate. I think that this is something that is important enough for us to air out all things that are developed last week. I understand that we did go over our time last week, but I think we should just open discussion for debate until somebody requests to exhaust the speakers list.
Vice Speaker Hartley, how much time would you like your motion to be?
Until somebody requests to exhaust the speakers list.
Okay, there's been a motion to extend debate until somebody moves to exhaust the speakers list. Is there a second? Second. Are there any objections? Senator Margaret?
Asked and answered.
One more time?
The question's been asked and answered. Let's do it.
Oh, so you would...
To not extend debate is my objection.
Okay, great. So, do you withdraw your motion? All right. We will now vote on Senator Margaret's objection to the motion to extend debate. Speaker Percy, would you want to explain what each vote means?
I believe a vote yes would be to end debate, and a vote no would be to extend debate.
Fabulous. We will now move forward with a roll call vote. Iona Dimhoff.
Yes.
Curtis? No. Kuzi?
No.
Saini?
No.
Jones? What's that? I'm Walter.
No.
Hartley.
No.
Gardy.
Move me down.
Graybill. Dahmen.
No.
Grafe.
No.
Utica.
No.
Bernal.
Yes.
Kekun.
No.
Corshi.
No.
Valenzuela.
No.
Bailey.
Yes.
Olson.
Abstain.
Persley.
No.
Nandal.
Yes.
Lima Barbosa.
Yes.
Snyder. Margaret.
Yes.
Schilling.
No.
There were not. Saini. Jones. No? Graybill. Sorry, Gardy.
Abstain.
I get time. Yeah, I have to say well.
With a vote of 6 to 13 to 4, we will extend debate. I didn't see all those placards go up, so. Oh, sorry, it's not updating on here for me. Senator Kuzi.
Mr. Chair, just a request that you announce a request that everyone close their laptops for this discussion, if people are playing games or working on work, etc. Similar to programs, out of respect for the discussion.
Point of information, I think they need to look at your edits to vote on it, so computers might be important.
Okay, also, like, the screen is accessible too, if we could use that. I just have recognized a lot of different interactions and poor behavior during the program today.
Senator Olson.
I just don't think we need to do this. We have already voted, again, Senate is trying to resolve all of the issues with private funding. This is just a lot of workarounds that will work less effectively than banning private funding to keep it on for really no reason. Eric said that this would preserve trust and transparency. I think what preserves trust and transparency is making sure that we do away with this so that we know where people's money is coming from. Again, people are capable of lying. If you're taking money from places you shouldn't be, if it's not just yourself, you're just gonna not say it. And I think that we need to preserve this in the actual rules rather than just relying on people only, sorry, out of breath, only to do it out of like the goodness of their own hearts. That's all well and good, I love people, but we need to have rules that are enforceable to make sure that when people break them and act improperly, we can take care of that.
There's been a motion to exhaust the speakers list. Is there a second? Are there any objections? Speaker Pursley.
We just voted to let everyone speak their opinion. It looks like a lot of people have a lot of thoughts, so let's let them talk. Oh, yeah, exhaust the speakers list means everyone gets to speak. I rescind my objection.
It's been moved and seconded to exhaust the speakers list. Are there any further objections?
Object. To that point, I'd like to say that all the people who have their cards down have a good opportunity to speak. If they don't have them up now, I would move or ask that they put their cards up if they'd like any conversation in this discussion, especially the passionate people around who have voted against different motions who have their cards down. I would request that, and again, move for this to be open so that they can raise their cards and then we can immediately exhaust the list. Thank you.
Also, I'm really sorry, they're probably all out of order, so. Sorry.
Alrighty. So there's been a motion to exhaust the speakers list. Do you withdraw your motion? Because you made an objection. All right. Do you withdraw your motion? You don't withdraw your motion? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote on the objection to exhaust the speakers list.
Purely for the sake of consistency, would we be able to again say in which direction to vote?
Yes, so a yes will exhaust the speakers list. Hold on one second. You are the objection. So, go ahead.
If we're voting on the objection, a yes to the objection would be to not exhaust the speakers list,
Correct.
and a no to the objection would be to exhaust the speakers list that is up there.
So a yes does not exhaust the speakers list. A no does exhaust the speakers list.
Backwards language.
All right. Now move forward with a roll call vote. Iona Dimhoff. No. Gertis. Kuzi.
Yes.
Saney. Yes. Jones.
Yes.
Einwalter.
Yes.
Hartley.
Yes.
Gardy.
Yes.
Graybill. Dahman.
Yes.
Grafe.
Yes.
Utica.
No.
Bernal.
No.
Kikun. Corsi.
No.
Valenzuela. Bailey. Olson. Pursley. Nandal?
No.
Lima Barbosa?
No.
Snyder?
No.
Margaret?
No.
Schilling? Valenzuela?
No.
Olson?
Yes.
With a vote of 11 to 12 to 1, the objection fails. The speaker's list is exhausted.
Mr. Chair, point of order. I believe a few placards may have been raised during this discussion, including Senator Bernal's. Was your placard at the lower position after, or excuse me, your placard was at the lower position before the motion to exhaust the speaker's list? And you raised it? Mr. Chair, I'll allow you to proceed with a senator not following a motion which was being discussed to exhaust the speaker's list.
Okay. Okay. Great. We will now continue forward with Senator Gardy.
I just think it's really important to point out that this has been a discussion on first read, second read, and has had lengthy time discussed about it. And also, Senator Kuzi, you have made a poll on your Instagram account for your constituents that advocated for—
Point of information, that is 100% false, and that should be taken back. Thank you.
Okay, then maybe I am wrong, but as you referenced last week, you had the poll, so excuse me then. Okay. Oh, Senator Gertis, then you had the poll, which advocated for the majority of your constituents wanting no private funding, which I think it's important to recognize that this has been a discussion, and I think we all know that as much as extra time helps, there's a lot that's already been discussed. I yield.
Senator Jones.
Hi, friends. So with this bill, I think I've expressed my opinion enough times that you all know where I land. I want to point out the affidavit part of this bill. I don't like how we have to sign something and then we have relying off 100%, like honest, like 100%. Let me finish. 100%, we're relying off someone being 100% true and everything. There's also multiple points I don't agree with, but I'm gonna yield my time to Election Commissioner Santi.
Yeah, hi everybody. Just my thoughts on these proposals is, as election commissioner, I do not feel comfortable enforcing many of these provisions, particularly the affidavit portion. I mean, we have no idea as a commission whether they're actually using funds from their income. We have absolutely no way. I think it's pretty common that we will not always have honest candidates. We will not always have candidates that will always tell the truth. If a candidate just simply marks, no, I didn't take any money from any outside group, we have no way of verifying that unless we go through your bank statements and verify that the money's coming in is really your income. And at that point, that becomes incredibly invasive for candidates to do. This is just not enforceable for the commission. We have no idea actually where the money's coming from, and a much more elegant solution would be simply get rid of the loophole, get rid of private funding, and not have to do this kind of 4D chess trying to make it work. If we're having to do all this, having to bring in a legal affidavit, having to be regulating content-specific speech, it's not a good system. We have to go to the simple solution, which is just have public funding. We know where the money's coming from, and there's no question about whether or not they did follow the affidavit. So it's much more simple. Just get rid of it. End discussion there.
I would also like to point out, not every senator was sent this bill. So not every senator had a chance to review the wording that is being amended to put in this bill. I don't think that is fair for senators to not have a say, to read what is going into the bill and talk about it with like the people that wrote this bill, the co-sponsors, before it is voted on and put into our election code. I do not think that is fair. I think if anything, this bill should have been sent out last week or sent to everybody. During this recess, I discovered I was sent the bill with the wording, but some senators weren't. And I don't think that is fair. I yield my time.
Senator Grafe?
Okay, so we already discussed this. Again, everything has already been discussed last week. But having private funding, it puts people at inequitable disadvantages. It's unfair, and I don't think that our government should follow that. And also, funding for campaigns is already there. It's already in how our student government is set up, and therefore we aren't robbing students. If you really don't want to use student funds, then you can run a campaign without using any money. Like, that's what most of the senators do. In addition, corporations and outside groups can potentially do bad things, and most of them aren't perfect and do bad things. So do we really want to tie our government and our campaigns to groups that potentially do awful things to society or aren't perfect? It's just, there's too many errors with private funding for us to continue having it in our legislation code. Thank you.
Senator Dahman?
Yeah, I just want to echo what the election commissioner said. With the affidavit, there's no way we can enforce it, even if the signature on it really doesn't mean anything, because we can't track where that came from. Even if they do sign it, there's no guarantee that they are being truthful with it. I know a lot of people will follow that rule, but eventually there will be someone who won't, and I don't think we can have that. I don't.
Senator Curtis?
I want to begin by addressing Senator Jones. We were not aware that there was a procedural issue with the original election code bill last week. Our intention was to bring our bill here and add it to the agenda for first read tonight so everybody could see it, and then we would discuss it next week. We were not aware that any of this was going to happen. So it's kind of a last-ditch effort. We brought it up when discussing the amendment, so I apologize for that. As for only some of the senators getting the bill, yes, that's true. We were lobbying to kind of get a feel for what senators were thinking on the issue of public and private funding. With that, I want to apologize. I did not intend to stir up such a controversy by bringing up the issue of private funding. But after listening to students' concerns with the removal of private funding, I just felt it was my duty to speak up. And to touch on the poll that Senator Gardy brought up, the poll was close. It was 45 to 55%. It's kind of half, not really. But with that, I do have some questions. Why did we have private funding as an option in the first place? Why did we have it as an option for so long? Was it not to offer candidates an option that doesn't use student dollars? Why is this all of a sudden an issue now? And I think we already know why. You brought it up last week. There was an issue with the privately funded campaign last year using that as leverage, and this is a decision I'm sure they regret. But with our proposed bill, there is a new stipulation that prevents this action from happening again. Remember, the penalty for violating the affidavit we are proposing is an immediate removal from the race. These guardrails are in line with many election commission rules that are already in place that are hard to keep students in line already. But I am sorry for the controversy this created. I'm going to stick, but I need to stick up for all of my constituents and not just half of them. I yield my time to Senator Kuzy.
Thank you. So just kind of going down the line with a few of the different arguments that had been heard, I believe Senator Gardy and Senator Grafe over on the other side of the table. A quick Google search, what is equity in assistance? So the definition is given as giving people what they need to succeed. It recognizes that different people start from different places and require different resources to have a fair chance. Everybody pays into the student fee, right? Everybody contributes to what student government works with. But that does not necessarily mean that a candidate has to accept that funding, and they can't use a very limited and specified source of their own labor. I've calculated it out. If someone were to work 13 additional hours per week at minimum wage for the 10 weeks in the summer, they could earn that $1,000. I worked this summer. I was above minimum wage, yes, and if I were to run, I would have the $1,000 from working over the summer to be able to use in private funding. That's from my labor. That's not from an outside organization. Moving on to a different point that was made, a signature means nothing. This is not true. Every document you sign with a signature is on the honor of your name. It's on the honor of your last name, which your family holds. I think we know this is true. I think the signature says a lot more than, I promise this, but I'll promise it for a while, and then 5 years later, when somebody promises it, well, blah, 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 and then campaign or organization cross the lines with each other, right? I don't think that's relevant. I don't think that's true and factual. If you want to get into the consequences of perjury, you absolutely can. I myself honor my word, I honor my signature, and I respect anyone in their dignity to do the same. If people are suggesting that they don't honor their own signature, I would ask that they resign, because that is not true and fair to their constituents. It's not true and fair to the people in this room who do honor their signature. Additionally, the candidates that we would have, they would show themselves in other ways than funding if they were immoral or if they had different problems. Those would show through. It doesn't speak to what they signed or what they didn't sign, because you will see in their campaign, you will see in their debates their problems. We can talk all about the hypothetical or the what if or the possible, but I'd like you to consider the probable. It's probable that someone can work for their own money, again, 13 hours a week, 10 weeks, minimum wage, and earn the money to privately fund themselves. It's possible and it's probable. And I don't think the argument that, well, we can't track it speaks very true, because a signature is your word and it is a word to the government. If we want to bring in outside sources because it's that big of a deal and we care about it that much, we can. The question is not possibility, it is probability. It is not probable for someone to do this. I don't think that this scope, this university in the Midwest would have these kinds of issues that we're comparing ourselves to in the federal government. Now, the federal government does have issues. We recognize this. We've talked about it. We talk about it personally as well in our office. And looking at some of those points, an affidavit goes further than what some of the U.S. Congressmen or congresswomen and senators and those types of people might do. Their funding will be online, but nobody's saying that they signed an affidavit and guaranteed.
I'm sorry, point of information.
Could you use a microphone, please?
Yeah, of course.
Is he allowed to speak right now?
No, he has not been yielded time.
So he doesn't have to be yielded time.
Why is that?
No, we're talking.
What's that? Yes, I've been yielded time.
Okay, thank
yes.
you. I just wanted
yes.
to double check.
I would just on that note, I would levy a point of order that you are.
Thank you.
over the 5 minutes.
I will be continuing.
Mr. Chair.
Now you are over the 5 minutes. Your first
Thank you.
speaking privilege has been exhausted. Or really, it's Senator Gertis's speaking privilege.
I would like to make a point of order that we are not, as student government, allowed to legally bind someone in an affidavit. It would be under student government law, not under real legal law. Just making a point of order on that,
Thank
so
you.
we cover our grounds.
And then point of information to that as well. If you were to follow the comment, which is on all of the documents of which you likely have up, unless it's homework or games, you would see that there's language in there which represents penalties of up to 10 points, which removes someone from the election. So there is consequences bound by our government if this were imposed, as my point of information. Thank you.
Senator Iona Dimhoff.
All right, I have a few questions questions that are directed either to Senator Curtis or Senator Kuzi. So did you ever speak to the election commissioner to see if these provisions are realistically enforceable?
Would you yield me time on that to answer?
Yeah, it's a yes or no question. So did you ever speak to the election commissioner to see if these provisions are realistically enforceable?
I'm sorry, did you say you'd yield us time?
I yield you a yes or no, yeah.
Yield me a yes or no, and then could you repeat the question?
Yeah. Did you ever speak to the election commissioner to see if these provisions are realistically enforceable?
Yeah, we
It's
had,
just yes or no. So you spoke to the election commissioner prior to this conversation right now about the provisions, so the bill that you guys proposed.
yes, I have spoken with the election commissioner, and that was on Friday.
Did you ever go to the election commission?
Excuse me, would you like Senator Curtis to answer those as well?
If you would like to.
I have not personally had a discussion with the election commissioner.
Okay, so that's a no.
That's a no.
Did either of you ever go to election commission, which we did meet today, you guys meet on Wednesdays, correct, election commissioner? So did you go to election commission to discuss these provisions?
Did our constituents go to election commission to discuss these?
Did either of you go to?
Oh, sorry. No, I did not.
Yes or no question, don't you think that would be an important?
Was that to Senator Curtis as well?
If you'd like.
He was going to.
No.
All right. Don't you guys think that would have been an important discussion to have with the body that you guys expect to be enforcing and policing this?
As you may have heard through the microphone, Senator Curtis was saying what our intention was to have this on first read tonight. She didn't specify yes or no. If you'd like to introduce the point of information, I will give you
yes or no.
the microphone.
I'll specify yes or no. Don't you think it would have been an important discussion to have with the election commission, because they are the body that is expected to be enforcing and policing this?
I'm sorry, could everyone please quiet down so I can hear the question?
All right, yes or no? Don't you think it would have been important to have a discussion with the election commission on these provisions, considering they are the body that is expected to be enforcing and policing?
Question to the question, when you say don't you mean, what does that, what does
yes or
mean?
no? Yes, you think
don't
it would have,
or do?
Yes, you think it would have been important to discuss this with them? No, you do not think it would have been important to discuss this
Yes,
with them?
and because we did speak, I think that covers that.
And I'd like to remind everybody of our rules of decorum. Continue.
Wait, I'm confused. You said you did not go to election commission to speak to them.
Is that a question?
Yes or no? You said earlier.
Where was the question mark for the question? Excuse me?
From my recollection of this conversation, you did talk to the commissioner on Friday, but you did not go to the commission, and you do think it would have been important for you to have gone to the commission. That's my recollection of our conversation thus far. Yes or no?
I can't speak to your recollection.
All right, well, I'm just gonna state my opinion. I think it's disrespectful you did not go to election commission to speak to them on the matters of what you have brought forward to us, and I do not support this, and I think this entire conversation has been pretty disrespectful in general. I yield.
Senator Graybill?
I think although we're all tired about talking about this, generally speaking, it's important that we're having this conversation. It could have, we're representing the student body, and the student body has people whose opinions are going to be the minority in the group. So there might not be a whole consensus, but the fact that we're having this conversation right now is representing the student body in itself. And so I think this is annoying, but I think it's good that we're having this conversation, and it's good to have different opinions as long as we're being respectful. That being said, Senator Kuzi, you brought up the federal government again, and I wasn't going to dwell on that from last week, but I just want to talk a little bit about the impact, and Senator Grace kind of brought this up with corporations, but the impact of super PACs in real world elections, and the impact of private money that is not tracked. And it is not only making elections not fair for candidates and people that want to run, and good people that should be in office but never will be because of money, but also for the people voting for them, because they will never see those candidates, because those candidates don't have the money to get in that platform. So it's almost taking away, in a sense, and if you apply it to Iowa State University. There's some candidates that will never get that platform to the same extent because if they have private funding and you don't know where it's coming from, they may never get that chance. So it's not only unfair to people running for office, but also it's unfair for students, and I think that's important to know. And I'm still in support of striking private funding from this bill.
Could you yield me time on that? I do have an explanation. If you're willing.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Lima Barbosa?
Point of order, was Senator Lima Barbosa on the speaker's list before it was exhausted?
Yes.
I believe so.
It's been edited since it was exhausted?
Since your objection about it being exhausted, it was edited.
This is the correct list.
This is the right list.
I believe so.
I removed the names that were on there.
So I'm sorry, the question was it?
Yeah, so yes, this list is correct. Vice Speaker Hartley removed the names from the bottom that added, put their placard up after your motion was made.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Senator Lima Barbosa?
Okay, I have a lot of things to say. First, I would not like to be interrupted while I'm speaking. Second, Santi himself said this is not financially responsible, and we keep saying we need to be financially responsible, and this is not financially responsible. We all understood that, we all heard that. Second, people are pointing out that this should change, but the Election Commission himself said this is not feasible. We're all students first, and a student that also has a leadership position in this said it is not feasible. First, financially. Second, time. So we heard multiple times from him that it's not feasible. First, second. I was not going to go in this point, but I think it's extremely impressive how far you're willing to go for your beliefs, and I honestly appreciate that. You did not send the bill for me and many other senators. When I spoke about this, I said I was open to hear about it. I voted yes a couple of times so we can hear your opinion about the matter. But you've been disrespectful in every chance you got to talk about this matter. You keep talking about reaching out to your constituents. I did. And most of my constituencies said, it's not that deep. Because it's not. Talk to the commission. It's 0.660 cents of the student fee. I don't even know how much of the percentage is that, but it's not that big of a deal. So, besides, and I want to keep saying this, it's not financially responsible, it's not financially transparent. Second, I've reached out to the people that I represent. None of them cared about this. So my vote is not on my personal beliefs only, it's about the people that I represent. Third, you want to discuss something? Please do. We all are here because we believe in something and we want to do the best. But do it respectfully. You interrupted, at least that I know, 3 other senators. I was kindly telling you that it was yes or no questions that Ella asked you. Maybe she did not point out that every question was yes or no, but it was implicit in the conversation, and we're all grown-ups to understand that. So yes, she was asking yes or no, and when I said that, you were extremely rude and disrespectful with what I said. My opinion on the matter is that we heard from the person that's been doing this for what, 2 years? 2 years, that this is not feasible. I talked to other people, it's not financially responsible. And you have not approached this matter in a respectful way. So I am all here for reach out to the people that you actually need their opinion. And you've heard that opinion, and you keep going on that matter. I fully support your opinion and the fact that you have the right of having an opinion. But do it respectfully and hear the people that have experience, which you have not been doing.
Senator Kikun?
I'm sitting here wondering how I can lighten the mood. Okay, thank you, Lima. Yeah, I think Senator Gabriel mentioned that it's good we are speaking about this, which I completely agree. I think it's really good we are talking about it. I've been here from the beginning wondering, first, what is at stake? So, I would have liked to ask Geddes and Kuzi more about this, but I think I've heard them speak, so I won't. Sorry for that. Yeah. So because I would like to ask, okay, what would be the disadvantages if private funding is being taken away? You've mentioned some of them. Maybe some persons will not like it, or yeah. So I completely understand. But from my perspective, even without thinking about it, I don't think I would so much be in support of private funding. And on matters relating to the elections, I would gladly defer to the Election Commission because I know they handle these things, and I think I respect the office, and I've seen how they've conducted elections in the past, and the whole process, I really respect that actually. So I would normally defer to their opinion, or at least want to hear, to know, because I may not know every nitty-gritty about all of it. Yeah. So when I asked on what would be at stake, the other question I would have loved, or maybe I would ask the Election Commission, the commissioner, if you just, I have limited time, so if you could answer concerning the funds like we use allocated for elections. So, and this is because I think Geddes mentioned in his one of those first speech on maybe is it being unfair also. Are there any provisions in which any student or anyone wanting to come out for elections would be disadvantaged because the fund is coming from the school or from allocations, please? If you may answer briefly.
I'm not aware of any scenario that someone would be disadvantaged if they're getting it from the school. The only thing that I would think of is if it comes during the campaign. And I think the best way to do that is by just getting rid of the conflict point entirely, not have kind of this complicated way of regulating it. But yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, so if there's no disadvantage, then that's why it goes back to my, what I was wondering, like what's at stake? Why are we going through all of this stress? Obviously, keeping private funding brings in a lot more headache. I think, was it Greenfield or who that mentioned that if this were to be like real elections, believe it or not, this is real world elections, because, okay, believe it or not, corporations, big organizations also would really want to influence student organizations. And the person you may have as student president or in whatever office could push many other policies that could influence even things nationally. Imagine at the scale that an organization is able to install government all around campuses all about the country. You may not know what could be that impact. That's just by the side. And I wouldn't want elections to be about money. So even hearing that it has been allowed that private funding, I'm even like, who? And things are still organized this way. I say this because I'm coming from a place where I've seen firsthand what could be the impact of having private funding for elections, where it's who has the biggest bag goes away with everything, both in schools and in public government. So, Senator Geddes, and actually, I don't know what's really at stake, but if it's not something we've already talked about here, I would really suggest, I don't think it's worth the effort we are giving it. I think it's a better path if we would go with the available funding, let elections in this school be based on that willingness to serve, based on the willingness to contribute, and not about who has the biggest bag or making like a loophole in which someone or something else could influence things or create greater complexities, okay? So, thank you.
Senator Vice Speaker Hartley.
All right, so I don't have much to say, but I just appreciate everybody's input on this. I think it's really important that we all air out our own opinions. But I'm not sure how many of you went to the open forum earlier for the presidential candidate, but he said something along the lines of no opinion or idea is too scary. Caveat, you must approach it with respect. That is one of the most important things when having a civil debate, especially in this type of body. I believe every opinion is valid and should be heard out, but I don't think that aggression should be used as a tactic when it's not going to get us anywhere other than running in circles and harming other people potentially. So I think that this conversation could have gone a very different way, but I yield my rest of my time to Santi if you would like it to say anything else.
I think just to conclude, I think we've exhausted a lot of the different things, and I appreciate the viewpoint of Senator Gertis and Senator Kuzi. I think that's perfectly valid opinion. I just think that in order for us to move forward, to have a clear, transparent elections, we can't have this black hole where funding is coming from. We have to have one source. We know where that money's coming from, and we don't want to put candidates in two different places. So my arguments have been heard over and over again, so that's what I'll close with. We got to have financial transparency, and as much as there's solutions, I'm sure they're in good faith. I don't know as commissioner if I'm comfortable enforcing them. I don't know how I could verify if somebody's income is actually being used for the campaigns. I don't know how I would verify if somebody actually did follow the affidavit. It would be, again, a black hole for the commission not to know, and I don't feel comfortable having that rule on our election code. I think we should have public funding.
All right, debate has exhausted. We will now move to vote on Senator Gertis's amendment. We'll now vote on the motion to amend the bill with it's commented there, the better path forward edits. Commented on the side of the bill at the bottom. Senator Kuzi commented it. We'll now move forward with a roll call vote.
A yes means you are in favor of the amendment. A no means you are not in favor of the amendment.
The amendment is in that comment there. So Senator Kuzi's comment includes the changes or the amendment. With the stipulations with it that those two talked during. Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
Mr. Chair, I would again move for tabling of 1 week so that senators can fully understand the comment. Again, we've talked about how it's been introduced today to them, or some of them. I would like to apologize for that. I want to give everyone a good chance to see that. Again, we have time. If you're against it, great. Let's do it next week. I think that let everyone be able to fully review it. As we just heard, people don't know that there's caveats, that there are multiple caveats, or even what they are. So I just, for the honor of the system, I think it's great if we were to give time for someone to fully read through this, again, approach their constituents, and whether things have changed or not, we can come back in 1 week and decide this and not affect the Election Commission substantially.
There's been a motion to table this bill for 1 week. Is there a second? It's been. All right, Senator Nandal.
I just feel like we've been discussing for more than an hour and a half, and at this point, everyone is well aware of the caveats and everything else. So I don't think we should be tabling this bill for another week.
Please use your microphone, please.
Is it point of information of order? I think we already voted on this decision.
Oh, on tabling for 1 week. Yes, correct. So your motion is out of order to table for 1 week. Since we already voted on a motion earlier with this bill to table for 1 week.
Yes. Yep. I'll amend the motion to table for 2 weeks.
All right. There's been a motion to table this bill for 2 weeks. Is there a second? The motion fails. All right. So now we are back to the original amendment, which was to add the changes noted in Brody's comment there to this bill. A vote yes is to add the changes. A vote no is to not add the changes. Any questions before we begin a roll call vote? All right. Ina Dimhoff.
No.
Gertis. Kuzi.
Yes.
Saney.
No.
Jones.
No.
Einwalter.
No.
Hartley.
No.
Gardy.
No.
Graybill.
No.
Dahman.
No.
Grafe.
No.
Utica.
No.
Bernal.
No.
Kekun.
No.
Corshi.
No.
Valenzuela.
No.
Bailey.
No.
Olson.
No.
Persley.
No.
Nundal.
No.
Lima Barbosa.
No.
Snyder.
No.
Margaret.
No.
Schilling.
No.
With a vote of 22 to 2 to 0, the 2 to 22 to 0, the motion fails. So now we're going to vote on the bill as a whole. So that's the bill up there right now. Iona Dimhoff.
Yes.
Curtis. Kuzi.
No.
Saney.
No.
Jones. Hartley. Or sorry, Einwalter.
Yes.
Hartley.
Yes.
Gardy.
Yes.
Graybell.
Yes.
Dahman.
Yes.
Grafe.
Yes.
Utica.
Yes.
Bernal.
Yes.
Kekun.
Yes.
Corshi.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
No.
Bailey.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Persley.
Yes.
Nundal.
Yes.
Lima Barbosa.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Margaret.
Yes.
Schilling.
Yes.
Saney.
Yes.
There's been a motion to revote.
Point of order, how do you vote on these?
Firstly, if we can have that one read.
Yep. It had a vote of 22 to 1 to 1.
And just as a point of order, remind me how you voted on the motion that we just had?
I voted no.
You voted no. My understanding of a motion reconsider is that you would have to vote on the prevailing side of the motion in order for it to be ordered.
Point of information, if Senator Valenzuela and myself both voted no, that would be a count of 2.
Okay, vote of 21 to 2 to 1. All right.
Yeah, if you want to change your vote, then you need to.
What's that? You withdraw your motion? All right, with a vote of 21 to 2 to 1, the bill passes. We will now move to (2025-2-013) SC, confirming nominee to the Supreme Court with Speaker Persley.
Okay, the this is a nominee for the Supreme Court. Can Daniel Chavez go up and say a little bit about himself? Go to the podium.
Alright, yeah. I have decided to run for the Supreme Court because I just want legislative experience in a sense, and I want to be able to contribute to Iowa State University's student government. I'm a political science major as well as a mechanical engineering major, and just being able to apply the knowledge I have while also providing some substance is essentially why I'm running. I feel like I could do a lot more work and contribute a lot. Essentially, that's it.
Senator Bernal, or sorry, Senator Utica.
I want to move a motion to remove Amanda from the role.
There's been a motion to remove Senator Corsi from the role. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any objections? All right. Senator Bernal.
Just a question for you. Have you read any of the governing documents at all before coming up here today?
The only governing documents related to student government I've read is this Constitution. Then other than that, I do have experience reading a lot of documents, namely, I'm not even in the council for my house, but because all the constitutions are being reviewed, being the resident political science major, I'm the lawyer essentially, and so I'm going through that. And essentially, I've read a lot of legal documents. I know how to parse through them in that sense because it's a lot of classes I have to take. And then again, I'm interested in it, so anything that goes on in the world, I just jump onto that. I want to just do that, but productively in a sense. Essentially it.
Been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments? No closing comments. Well, now placard vote has been called for. All those in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? The vote of 22 to 0 to 0. The bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. We will now move to 2025-2-014 SC, confirming nominee to the Supreme Court with Speaker Persley.
Okay, our other nominee is going up right now to say a little bit about themselves.
Hi, I'm Abigail Carter. I'm currently a senior, and I'm on the pre-law track in psychology and criminal justice. Kind of the reason I wanted to get involved on Supreme Court is I have a plan to go into law and work with court systems. I'm very passionate about it, and I kind of wanted to see more of what that looks like on a student perspective. I also have legal experience. I worked as a legal intern this summer at a company and was able to apply research that I conducted on all 50 states and apply that to their company and make them new procedures. So I feel like I'll be able to benefit the Supreme Court on applying different constitutional regulations of bylaws and all of that into your guys' procedures. Also made me more efficient and effective at reading government documents because that took a lot of time. So I was able to do that and get through the student government constitution, bylaws, and other documents. The Court of Rules looks really familiar and how that's all set up. Again, just going through my experience and being able to work on court and going to courts and stuff. So I just have a general idea of how that should all work and want to be able to implement that and help you guys on that perspective. But I'm open to any questions.
Senator Jones.
Not a question, but a comment. I've known Abby for quite some time, and I think she'd be a great fit.
Senator Iona Dimhoff.
also love Abby. Abby, describe yourself in one word.
In one word? Oh gosh. I would say, motivated. I'm like a very motivated person. I work to accomplish my goals. I'm also very motivated in making others make sure that they're happy. I'm motivated for others more than myself, so.
It's been called to question. Is there a second? Are there any objections? Closing comments? No closing comments. The placard vote has been called for. All those in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? The vote of The vote of 23 to 0 to 0, the bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
We'll now move to 2025-2-008 SD, confirming the nomination of an engineering senator with Senator Bailey.
I invite Emma Valley up to the podium to explain why she wants to become an engineering senator.
Good evening, you guys. I'm Emma Valley. I'm currently a junior in electrical engineering with a minor in mathematics. I am currently the treasurer for a wind energy student organization on campus, as well as an RA on campus. So I'm already heavily involved with different organizations on campus. And just being able to give a voice to other engineering students would be an amazing privilege.
Speaker Persley.
Do you have any projects or ideas that you're excited to work on as a senator?
Yeah, I'd really like to do with the Health and Wellness Committee and do different organizations for like preparing for mental health for different students. As like an engineering student, work-life balance is hard as it is, and just preparing and motivating people to have a work-life balance and just be a student as well as an actual person.
Senator Kuzi.
Hello, thanks for waiting. Just a couple questions. I'm in engineering as well, and I attend the engineering student council meetings. Do you attend engineering student council meetings, or do you plan to with this?
Yes, I have to attend as the treasurer. I attend with my president as well.
Nice. And then, do you have any specific interests from the College of Engineering to bring, whether that's projects or ideas or things that you can see change in?
I want to bring more, like going on field trips. So as an electrical engineer, going to different, like being able to go as with wind energy, going into like an actual wind turbine and being able to scale it, safely would also be amazing opportunity. As well as we have on campus, we have our own power plant kind of, and like being able to go on different tours with like the College of Engineering.
Sounds great. I like it a lot. Thank you.
Vice Speaker Hartley.
I just want to say for this candidate and then the following two, rules set them favorably, and I think they will be very qualified.
Senator Dahlman.
I just want to speak in favor of Emma being set. She's actually an RA in the building I live in, and she's been great doing that. I think she'll be great in here, too.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments?
Placard vote?
Placard vote has been called for. All those in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? Vote of 22 to 0 to 0, the bill passes.
Our new justice is going to come up and swear you in, and then you can sit at the table.
I have you raise your right arm and then repeat after me. I solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear or affirm
to execute the duties of my position
to execute the duties of my position
as prescribed in the Constitution and laws of the government for the benefit of all students.
as prescribed in the laws and
In the Constitution.
in the Constitution
And laws
and laws
of the government
of the government
for the benefit of all students.
for the benefit of all students.
Okay.
We'll now move to 2025-2-009SD, confirming the nomination of an engineering senator with Senator Nandal.
Okay, so we're going to see Noah Shriansky to be sat as an engineering senator, and as Vice Speaker Hartley mentioned, he was sent favorably by rules.
Quick motion to add Senator Valley to the roll.
Second.
At who?
Did I say your name right? Is it Valley, your last name?
Yes.
Valley. Yeah, Senator Valley to the roll.
Valley. There's been a motion to add Senator Valley to the roll. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any objections? You may begin.
Good evening. My name is Noah Srnaski, and I'm from Rosemont, Minnesota. This is my third year here at Iowa State University, and I am a major in electrical engineering with a minor in economics. I would like to kind of bridge the gap between student government and the student body, as I haven't really seen too much of a presence as much as I would have liked. I had to kind of reach out to find some of the opportunities that were available in student government, and I just would like to make some projects to see a little bit more of that presence. And I'm interested in the financial community.
Senator Olson.
I'd just like to express my support for Noah. He's a great guy. I've known him for a couple of years, and I think he'd be a great fit. Noah, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Ooh. I would probably be, I don't know, that's a tough one. I like to think that I'd be a goose, but not one of those geese around Lake Laverne that are really mean. I'd be like one of the wild geese, because I think it's a really important thing to work together with each other and to come together on solutions.
Senator Kuzi.
Thank you again for waiting. Sorry it took so long. With being an engineering senator, do you currently attend engineering student council meetings?
Not currently, but I'm planning to start.
Great. And then do you have any specific interests or projects in mind for the college itself as well?
I mentioned something at Rules Committee where something a little bit similar to Yik Yak would be really, really cool to implement, where students can send in their ideas and vote on what they want to see student government to adjust. Because I think that there's a lot of things that students aren't able to come in for, especially at such a specific time, on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, we've talked about it just recently. I think it's a great idea, and I think with your input, I think we might be able to make something like that happen. So I really appreciate the idea.
All right, thank you.
All right. Senator Snyder.
I know you said you were interested in finance, but would you be willing to come in and meet with PR as well? It sounds like what you're interested in, doing a lot of outreach, bridging that gap like you talked about. Would you be willing to work with the PR community as well?
Yeah, I would.
Cool, I yield.
Senator Saini.
Thank you for being here today, and I just have one question. As you said, you want to bridge the gap between the student government and the student body. And what are some ideas or some projects you plan to take to bridge this gap between those two?
Beyond the outreach project where students are able to send in their ideas, I haven't thought too hard about it yet, but I'm trying to come up with some more.
We would love you in the finance committee and the PR committee both.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments?
Placard vote.
Placard vote has been called for. What if I started with no? All those in favor? With a vote of 24 to 0 to 0, the bill passes. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Look forward to working with you.
All right, go ahead and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear or affirm
to execute the duties of my position
to execute the duties of my position
as prescribed in the Constitution and laws
as prescribed in the Constitution and laws
of the government for the benefit of all students.
of the government for the benefit of all students.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
And a correction to the vote tally. The vote on 2025-2-013 SC was 21 to 0 to 0, not 22 to 0 to 0.
Another motion here to add the senator to the roll. Sorry, Noah, you'll have to help me with your last name. Stranaski. Motion to add Senator Stranaski to the roll.
There's been a motion to add Senator Stranaski to the roll. Is there a second? Stranaski. Stranaski.
The two S's.
Stranaski. All right. We'll now move to 2025-2-010 SD, confirming the nomination of an engineering senator with Senator Bernal.
Okay, can we have Ian Martins, our final engineering senator, come up and tell us a little bit more about why you want to be part of student government?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ian Martins. I'm currently a junior in aerospace engineering. And I wanted to be a senator because I really want to know more about what's going on in my student government as well as my major specific government. So I thought this would be a great way to get involved and implement my own ideas and be able to pass on things that I've heard from other people in my major as well as not in my major, and just be the voice that I hear a lot. So yeah.
Senator Kuzi.
Same kind of question from the other two. So do you attend the engineering student council?
Not currently.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I would assume that you'd plan on it?
Yes.
Okay, and then same following question. What are your college-specific interests or passions or projects?
Yeah, so I guess a big thing for me is like the health and wellness. I've done projects in the past with like mental health, and so I'm really big on outreach programs for that, as well as in the past I've had speakers from hospitals come and speak about mental health to students, and just ways to deal with issues and stuff like that. So that's kind of something I'm really passionate about. Also public outreach. I've done a lot of community work in the past couple of years, and so I just want to be there for students if they need it and offer those services.
Great, thank you. I yield.
Senator Saini.
Thanks for being here, and I love your experience. It's amazing. And what are some committees that you look forward to joining?
The Health and Wellness Committee and then the Public Relations Committee are both two that I'm very interested in.
Thank you. I yield.
It's been called to question and seconded. Are there any objections? Closing comments?
Placard.
Placard vote has been called for. A little bit better. All those in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? With a vote of 25 to 0 to 0, the bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, please raise your right arm and repeat after me. I solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear or affirm
to execute the duties of my position
to execute the duties of my position
as prescribed in the Constitution and laws
as prescribed in the Constitution and laws
of the government for the benefit of all students.
of the government for the benefit of all students.
All right.
We'll now move to new business, starting with 2025-2-044F, funding for professional ag students with Senator Limo Barbosa. But first, Vice Speaker Hartley.
Motion to add Senator Martins to the.
There's been a motion to add Senator Martins to the roll. Is there a second? Are there any objections? Alrighty. Senator De Lima Barbosa, feel free to continue.
This is a funding bill for the professional ag students. We're going to see in finance meeting Tuesday, 5:30 and 35 something, I think. I can answer yes or no questions.
Seeing no questions, we will now move to 2025-2-002A, apportionment for next Senate term with Speaker Pursley.
Yes, it is required in our bylaws that every fall the election commissioner creates a Senate apportionment with the election commission and send those recommendations to us. It's based off of population of the student body in each college and residency council, and it's determined by those guidelines.
Seeing no questions, we will now move to 2025-2-005SA, ISU Theater Funding Contract with Senator Saini.
I rise as the author of this bill, and the intent of this bill is to fund fund ISU Theater, enter into a contract with the ISU Theater Club, and I would yield my time to Finance Director Kumar.
Yeah, and then quick correction on that, the theater department. So previously we funded them through annual allocations, which is what we've been doing at least since like 2007, 2008. With recent shifts in just how student organizations are structured, we felt it was more appropriate to enter into a contract with them. So contracts have to go through both Finance Committee and Rules Committee. I'm not perfect in writing, so if you catch any grammar errors, spelling errors, a sentence that just looks weird, please message or Teams me. We can definitely get these updated, and then I will be at Rules not tomorrow, but next week, and we'll talk about the contract then, I'm sure.
Seeing no questions, we will now move to 2025-2-045F, funding for the Big 12 on the Hill Conference with Senator Saini.
The intent of this bill is to fund the Big 12 on the Hill Conference, which Iowa State is going to organize this year, and I would be happy to answer any yes or no question, as this bill is on the first read in the Finance Committee next week.
Seeing no questions, we will now move to 2025-2-046F, funding for Winter Guard room reservations with Senator Jones.
Hi everyone, this bill is on first read. We will see it next Tuesday in Finance Committee at 5:30 in room 30. Oh, Launchpad. It's on the website. Come see us.
All right, seeing no further questions, we're at the bottom of our agenda. Are there any closing comments for the group? Senator Curtis.
I just want to thank Speaker Pursley and Vice Speaker Hartley for giving my colleague and I the chance to be heard. I'd also like to thank the Senate for entertaining the discussion. It's not easy standing up against a pack, and if I could do it again, I would. However, I would definitely handle my demeanor a little better. The debate got pretty heated, and I'm sorry for the role I may have played in contributing to that. I know there are some senators who have expressed their disappointment in my behavior tonight, and I want to take full accountability and apologize for any disrespect. I respect the decision of both the Election Commission and the Senate tonight. You all do great work, and Santi, without you, I wouldn't even be here as a senator. So you do a really great job. We just didn't see eye to eye tonight, and that's okay. I yield.
Senator Jones.
You kind of stole my thunder. I was going to say something similar. I'm just like I said last week, I'm really proud of everyone sharing their opinions and sharing your constituents' opinions. I think it's what we do here in student government is not just voice our opinions, but it's our constituents. And so when we have disagreeing opinions, it's good because, like Senator Graybill said earlier, that is, we're discussing this and we're getting thoughts out, we're talking about it. So I'm just really happy that we all are able to discuss our opinions. And so no matter how tonight ended, I'm glad that we were able to have the ability to discuss. And so also, a slight plug again, Finance Committee 5:30 on the website.
All right, well, great meeting, and we'll see you next. Oh, sorry, Senator Kuzi.
Yeah, I think that's all great, and I sympathize to those that I may have offended. I apologize for any actions that anybody's felt. At the end of the day, we can still be friends. Look at our government. In the federal levels, senators can disagree on things and still be best friends or what have you outside of the doors. I just want to go back to the things that I started the evening off with. There's lots of opportunities for leadership and recognizing some different things that we can change. Something I'd personally change, I'd like to recognize, is my demeanor. So before the meeting, I think I told a couple of you that I was actually excited. Like I was eager to come debate this. It's not about the outcome, but the process. And I think we had a really good process tonight. I took it too far, and again, going to what I started with. If anybody's offended by that, I'd like to apologize to you. But I think there's a lot of spirit and different emphasis in the game, in the discussion, including Election Commission. Thank you for coming today. You wouldn't have come unless you wouldn't have come had this not been presented, I assume, right? We're taking time out of your night, so I want to thank you. And to the Senate and other people who had to wait here, our new elects as well. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for enjoying the discussion. And I hope that we can recognize that it was a good discussion. At the end of the day, there are different opinions, and that's how it is. And also understanding that opinions don't necessarily reflect maybe what an individual thinks, but what some constituents might think. So an outcome with a minority versus a large majority, that doesn't mean that the opinions don't exist. Now, a unanimous vote says a lot more than an undecided vote. And I think that's how we can leave tonight, and appreciate that. So thank you.
Great meeting. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Vice Speaker Hartley.
You guys kind of stole my thunder. Just to keep it a little short, last week I said I'd send you guys the constitutional document, but I'll plan on doing that after all of the rules changes are in there, but before it's on first read, just to give you a little extra time to go through that. And then just a little plug, Lectures Committee is able to be joined. I know that was a long time ago, but it's a great committee, and I think that a lot of people would be really interested. So if you're interested, you can reach out to Will or me or Lauren Berger. All three of us are on there. And then our new senators, I can take you guys downstairs to our office after this.
Okay, thank you everyone for a great meeting, and thank you for bearing with me and Will as we're still trying to navigate parliamentary procedure and make sure we're doing it correctly. I know I read through the bylaws 3 or 4 times last night, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm abiding by our rules, and I'm going to continue, me and Claire are going to continue to work to make sure that we're abiding by our bylaws as much as we possibly can. I also would like to add that when I'm creating the agenda, it's a lot easier for me if I'm getting the bills on Monday. So please make sure you're sending bills to me on Monday if you want it on the agenda, and I'll be able to include that on the agenda for you. That goes for finance bills, please, too, as well. So just anything, seating bill, if you want me to write a bill for your committee, please send that to me on Monday. And then as well, let's make sure we're all joining committees if we haven't yet. And besides that, yeah, read the bylaws. Motion to adjourn, go Cyclones.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Have a great night.